burn them up, I burn them down. Really, I could do this all day.
Congratulations. You were undefeated at target practice.
Oh, target practice? KO, are you shading the king?
You're not the king. You have the same score as the rest of us. How about a game where the bot shoots back?
I'll bring the fire in any game you want.
Please, be my guest.
Okay, any other game?
Let's dance. Yeah. Say hello to MaxBot. A perfect blend of tactics and firepower. Now you can train against, well, you.
My money's on the machine.
You got this, pretty boy.
Lucky for you, I buy these by the dozen.
Out of my way, Your Majesty.
Somebody call the doctor. Machine double on the shoulder. Nobody got medicine. No, I'm not a cure. So I'll keep
Well, this is embarrassing.
I'm stuck with these voices. They're all in my head. All in my nothing's gonna free me from my imagination. It's gonna liberate me from my sense of broken.
Oh, he makes me so proud.
It makes me so rich.
Oh, I should have picked this game.
Winning requires sacrifice. Not really your style.
Hey fam, let's go again. That bot owes me a code. My turn. Team Forge, baby! What the?
All right. Playtime's over. Ready up!
Team Forge? Really?
What? Fire and steel. Come on. Hey, wait. Ooh, you're quick. How about Firewire? Robo Squad?
Oh, the Swagger Express. Roaster and Toaster.
You know I'm programmed to kill you, right?
Come on, that was a good one.
We are going to see Hogaratis just rotate back around towards A main and go for the one-pronged approach. But they got to get past Watt here. And he's got that Marshall in here. Oh, the fast lane. So what are XYZ going to be able to do in the post plant? Early flashes coming through. And that's going to be Bladestorm up, double reset. Logic looking real good there. Bang the hitter. Making this one work for two. But the full defuse comes through. Trying to make it happen. Paranoia in hand. That's going to connect onto three individuals, and Koopa Troop is going to be Goomba stomped in just a second on 13 HP with a big hammer. And there it is. And there's going to be no chance for that lockdown to be used. If XYZ take this round, Blob going forward. He wants to finish things here and now, and there it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back for what will potentially, Dion, be the final time of the year from us here. It's the LPL Valorant Overtime Cup. The off-season is upon us. And yeah, we've been having a great little time over the last couple of days. My name is Conky. Welcome, everybody, alongside Komodo. Now, Dion, mate, I haven't seen you since bloody Ireland, bro. How you been?
Yeah, it's been a little bit since Drinks on Valorant, that's for sure. But I've been good, man. You know, dipping ourselves into a couple of different pools around. But we're back where we kind of, you know, started things off in the Valorant scene with LPL here to close out 2022 and then, you know, get started very soon into the next year.
Absolutely. And the best thing for me is this is a kind of, you know, set of fresh eyes on some of these newer teams that are coming into the run. We had a 16-team open qualifier, of course, it led into the 8-team groups. And now we have the top 4 playing in front of us right now. And obviously there was some electricity going out yesterday, you know, a few new faces, a few similar ones, as you sort of mentioned. But of course, there's some cash money to be playing for as well as a part of all of this as we do lead into Chrissy. Perfect time to run away with a cold 700 in cash, Komodo.
Yeah, and of course you get some experience, right, coming in towards one of these off-season tournaments to build practice with your teammates, to find what's working, to find what's not working before the official pathway next year into the VOT, the VCT challenges that we are now, you know, being a part of, which is really cool to see.
Exactly right. And look, it's going to be an awesome scene next year. 2023 holds plenty of good things. But before we get into all of that, of course, we have had the 4 teams that have run it back. Obviously, Mac and Pilski showcased some awesome Valorant coming out from some of these teams last night, as we sort of mentioned, right? Bonkers. But of course, there is some, you know, additional teams there, Komodo, Hog Riders, Cooper Troopers, XYZ, that were able to show off some good things as well.
Yeah, you say additional teams, but it was kind of hard done by for Hog Riders, I think. It's just a difference when you've got a team like Bonkers playing in this tournament, right? Who are really just clean with it in the end. Pearl ending on 13-4 and Haven 13-1. Didn't really need to play too far in towards the pool there. You know, there were knives happening in towards this second map here on Haven. It was just cleanliness to come through from them. And, you know, for Hog Riders to kind of figure out what to do into the future. Unfortunately for them, not a single player actually finding double digits on the kill department. That's just a skill diff at the end of the day. But the game that was a little bit closer was this second one here, Mitch. Cooper Troopers having a nice map of Pearl coming out in first map in that series, but then Ascent. Haven going over to XYZ. We heard from Blob in the interview that Pearl was a map that they just don't play. They haven't scrimmed, and it kind of showed, you know, 10 rounds is still a good scoreline to put up at the end of the day, but the maps that they had practiced here, as I mentioned, Ascent and Haven, they were looking clinical. Their holds on the CT, or defensive side rather, were looking at paramount. Their executions on the attacking side, they just had layers upon layers of this utility. Their aim was crisp, and it was looking really good for them. But is it enough to do damage against Bonkers here today, Conky? I don't know.
Yeah, look, I think it's a perfect opportunity to kind of start to get a little bit fresh, right? Because in this scene right now, there is no clear top 8. There is no real sort of firm tier 1. You know, we've got Bonkers, we've got Bobo, we've got teams of that caliber that have kind of, you know, run their way through 2022. But with some players returning from North America and plenty of things sort of shaking it up, we can see that, you know, there is that opportunity to go in next year. So what a prime time to rough it around and do it now. But of course, yeah, that's exactly what we saw yesterday. Bonkers 2-0 over Hog Riders. And of course that 1-2 where XYZ was the benefited team. So without further ado, I guess we've reintroduced these 2 teams for you again. Bonkers, one that it doesn't really need an introduction, I suppose, at this point in time. You know, they've been a team that have been really kind of doing it for the time. You know, fantastic roster and really kind of the team with all of the pressure to sort of put it on here at Komodo, I would say, at this point in time. You know, obviously it's XYZ that's the one that needs kind of a little bit of extra time with it, but there's the boys, of course. Minimize, Watt, Swirl, Mike, and Punda. So it is kind of just where the roster has settled now, as opposed to a lot of these different teams that these guys have been on over the course of the year.
Yeah, of course, we're going to have Minimize on the IGL department. I've always loved his sort of take on how Valorant is played and how it, quote, should be played. Then you move over towards what I was going to say some more about Minimize, but I think I'll leave it till a bit later. I'll preface that for why, but for what, you know, he's always been that stable smoker, been playing on towards, you know, your Astras and your, well, mainly only Astra, which I think is really interesting given by the fact that that nerf quote is still in existence for her. Swell, Mike, Punda, I mean, a lot of these guys don't really need any introductions, right? They've been playing Valorant for so long right now. They know how the game is played, and even with this chamber nerf coming through, you know, they're adapting really well, really quickly. It's what you want to see. I think for me, for Bonkers right now, again, like yesterday, just how much pressure, how much into their strat book do they actually need to dive into for a series like this?
Yeah, exactly right. And look, they're a team that has been kind of, keeping their finger on the pulse for the time. But enough on them. It's XYZ. Obviously, this is one that I'm actually really excited for. I was watching along last night, but some of these players are fresh faces to me. I believe I've seen Alucard before, Songri, but the rest of the roster, Dion, run me through.
Yeah, so Songri is actually the IGL on this roster as far as I believe it. The thing with these guys is a couple of roles do get swapped depending on maps, as far as I can tell from, I guess, what little information I'd be able to gather through research and through history and asking some people. You'll start to see Alucard be someone who will fill smokes as well as Songri, depending on those maps again. I like the fact that he's been picking up Cypher as well. I think, come over towards that map of Pearl, it was a little bit hard done by in the pushes that were happening via their opponents in Koopa Troopers. But again, it was a map that they haven't played. I probably expect it to be vetoed out coming in towards this series, but we'll have to wait and see.
5 mapper always makes it tough, but of course,
yeah.
I think you were alluding to one of our players as we bring up for this head-to-head. Is it Minimize, and who else do you pick? Songri.
Yes.
All
so
right,
I've gone with the leaders, the IGLs, and not for any reason apart the fact that, we have agents being selected for all these guys. Usually we try to match them up, but I think IGLs are a very important thing at the moment with the metas changing, with the years changing, with teams. We've got that change up, right? You mentioned the players coming back from NA. That changes rosters like Bobo, that changes rosters like Bonkers. And I think when you have Minimize, who's been around for a long time, who's trying to figure out exactly what he needs to do on the IGL department, that's where I can draw conclusions against what Songri needs to do. For a team like XYZ, who started, at the bottom as friends, who have built their way up and have built their way through all the open tourneys, anything that they can really get their hands on. This is the time for an IGL to really start to sit down and be realizing the gaps in our region and realizing what they need to do to try and get, opportunities in towards the next circuit.
Well, it is the sort of humble beginning, I guess, here in a player like Minimize, right? Who was the one who kind of really started to look out into SEA being one of the strongest regions in Valorant worldwide, right? He was the one that really sort of dived in and started to break down what they were doing. So I think, lots of other IGLs really can kind of look forward to that and start to break that down and take that into their own stead as well going forward. But of course, guys, it wouldn't be a stream without something cheeky to give away. Now, you guys could get a hand on one of these EPOS headsets as well. Make sure you do follow at LPL_Valorant on Twitter to find out how during the course of the competition. So a massive shout out to EPOS.
I'll tell you how.
Thank you very much for getting in there. Exactly right. Hashtag
Straight on
OTC.
here.
Tell us
That's
why the favorite agent is and why. Okay, well, there you go, Dion. Who's your favorite agent and why?
So I got to pick what this challenge, I'll call it, this giveaway entry would be, and I was thinking about it. I think yesterday was who do you want to see get victory, or who do you want to see in the grand final? And I thought, what's something Valorant related that would spark a little bit of a debate, right? Who is your favorite agent and why? It shows your kind of play style, your thoughts on this game, what you want to do. Are you a duelist that holds W, or are you, a controller IGL like I guess I try to be. I love Fade and KO, but anyways, that's the challenge for you guys. Tell us that, tag hashtag OTC, and your chance to win a cheeky little EPOS headset.
Absolutely, get amongst it. But of course, we're going to have to find out exactly what these teams are going to be playing on right now, which will determine those agents and why. The veto in this best of 5. So we're going to get 2 bans, and then it's just all the way around. Pearl gone, Breeze gone. That makes it easier for me. Not a huge Pearl fan, but that's all right because I know Bonkers are. So yeah, that's an absolutely fair decision from XYZ, as you mentioned. Breeze, also a map, that can be very, very challenging to play unless you've got that sort of setup strategy. So I think, look, pretty standard as it kind of sits. Obviously, now we see Split being pulled back out and everything, with everything going on. It's wild. We're not really sure with what the scene's even going to look like in 2023 as well. So it's that 5.12 patch, Chamber yet to be fixed. And we'll see with how they're going to kind of fire it up. Do you reckon it's going to go further than the 3?
So this is one of the biggest things. The Valorant fan in me, and the being that it is the last, event, the last stream, the last thing of Valorant for this year, it is BF5 grand final, so we're at least guaranteed 3, which is good. If it goes to 4 or 5, then I think you're kind of questioning Bonkers in this series. So I think it should go 3-0. I think it should be in the realms of 13 sevens to double digits. Again, it just comes down to Bonkers, how much pressure do they want to put into this series against XYZ. And for them, XYZ, this is their big chance really to just have a bit of fun, learn some things, see what they can do to seal the deal on 2022 and get set up for 2023.
Well, you'll be happy here because we can see that Minimize is looking to pick up that KO. But pretty standard, really, across the board, of course. I do like the fact that we appear to be moving away from Chamber here. Obviously, everyone's starting to get a little bit more prepared. It'll depend on what Mike wants to pick up here. You know, does he go for that Sage? Does he go for the Cypher? He's actually, okay, he's going to go for the Killjoy. So, you know, you can kind of flex either way here, but Killjoy obviously really strong. And as you mentioned, Watt has been regularly picking up that Astra with Alucard looking to slide over to the Omen. So relatively sort of even looking matchups. What are you sort of thinking right now?
Well, it's the same roster that EZK, sorry. I looked at his name. XYZ ran yesterday against Koopa Troopers, and believe it or not, Bonkers are actually running the same roster as... Wait. It's okay. Running the same roster that Koopa Troopers actually did. So it means that it's a agent lineup that XYZ are familiar with as their game of yesterday that they won 13-8. So again, the big difference is just going to be what the Bonkers players do differently than what Koopa Troopers did on an agent lineup like this. And I think skill diff, again, is going to be one of those big things. And I think coming into this series, XYZ, they've got a challenge ahead of them.
Absolutely. Lots and lots of pressure on, but look, I think, again, it's a really exciting time for these guys to kind of do it right. You know, you're jumping in to an end-of-season competition. You're jumping in to see what kind of fun you can have with it. I think that's absolutely awesome. It's an awesome opportunity to really get it done, and yeah, prime time is now. So Komodo, final series of the year. Will it go to the full way? Will it run the 5 maps, or will the Bonkers boys close it out nice and strong? We'll have to start to find out very soon as we dive into Ascent.
Yes, sir. Now, you hit me with the question on, do you think this is going to go towards 3 maps? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think we're going to get anything more than 3, Conky?
Look, I'm in a similar boat to yourself, right? Like, I think at the end of the day, the pressure is really going to be onto Bonkers. It depends on sort of how seriously they're going to take this, right? Are they going to test some new things? Are they just going to have fun with it? Time will tell. That's exactly what we're kind of looking to see at this point in time. But overall, I think, yeah, they've got a prime opportunity to close it strong, enjoy themselves, and XYZ really are just kind of there for the lessons learned. So I think it's going to be a 3-0, but look, always I would prefer to run the 4-5.
And just before we start as well, I want to give a big shout out to our man on the sticks, Crash. Did a phenomenal job yesterday. I've had you know, a wonderful opportunity over the past week to actually work a couple of events with him as well in some other titles. So it's been really fun to work with him on the ob sticks. But here we are in towards Ascent to start off this series.
So looking straight towards mid, Swirl going to pop that tailwind, and he does get the opener, so that's a really nice start. But my God, it's a mincemeat pie inside mid here, Komodo. Mike Minimize also finding those frags, so it's just going to be left onto Alucard and Blob making their way through B main here. Alucard spotted out. What will get the nice clean shot, and yeah, look, they try to go for that mid split towards tiles. Blob does at least deny one. Swirly boy getting very hungry, as you can expect. Nice little shot there. They've got to be cautious, you know, as he always is the rule. You don't win a 1 versus 5, you lose a 5 versus 1. So Blob, at least finding a couple here.
And that's exactly what Blob is finding right now. If he can get a couple of individual duels time and time again, he might be able to piece something together. But Hilo set up a little bit of depth in mid as well for Bonkers. They pick up a pistol, and that's, you know, as best a start as you could really hope for, I guess.
Yeah. Now, very cruisy. I like the double up inside mid. You know, the old bait and switch with Swirl, popping that tailwind, using the Sheriff to get the early frag. And he's going to go for the Marshall investment here. So just some gentle little purchases. Easy K going for the Sheriff. Looks like Songri's going to be doing the exact same. It's that classic Valorant kind of bait in, isn't it? You know, I do the same thing. Sheriff second round is always tempting, but, you know,
yeah, you just
with a little bit less cash into that third.
You just don't want to overcommit yourself to some purchase in this round and leave yourself up to, you know, light shields or anything lackluster in the utility department coming in towards the next round where you're, quote, playing the bonus. But you talk about those Sheriffs, Conky, and I guess a decent opener. You take down Swirl, you then lose your own Jet. So the 1-to-1. Again, you know, we're really just looking for some damage in this round to come through from XYZ, feel out what the pacing is, feel out maybe what the setup of Killjoy does look like for Bonkers as well. If they can figure out what Mike's setups do look like, they might be able to get the better of him a little bit later.
So just chilling up towards short. They've already gained all of this control. We still do have that lurk position from the Killjoy inside main. But they've got a really nice setup here. Watt already having a little bit of a look in. We are going to get the Nebula to come out as well. Mike drops the spike. And that dart will be punished. So Watt's actually going to push through. Very confident. Dropping that little flank position from EZK. But yeah, it looks like there's not a whole lot of confidence coming out from XYZ at this point.
that is confidence from Watt as well, because he doesn't actually know how many of the XYZ players are going to be sitting outside of A main, and now he realizes down to 3 HP. It's a bit of vulnerability with the Stampede coming in towards the A side right now. We'll see if any XYZ members can get some damage to come on through. Alucard does manage to find Mike. Anything more is just going to make that bonus a little bit easier in the next round. You'll take 3 frags on the back of that one if you are XYZ.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a really happy result from the XYZ boys there. You know, a little bit of an overinvestment from Bonkers in a couple of different positions. You know, they did their due diligence, made sure the Prowler cleared out B main, had a little bit of a peek through. Punda got a good trade once Swirl did go down, but it was all some nice shots. So XYZ so far are showing us some good fundamentals, I guess. And moving into this bonus now, Bonkers obviously don't have the hottest looking economy, but Mike still picking up that Vandal. Minimize is going to be going in with the investment on the Marshal. So really, really good opportunity for XYZ to get an early attacker-sided round.
Yeah.
Obviously, the pressure still on a map like this does mean
I like this.
Go one way, but look at Swirl straight on in. Is spotted by the little turret, but he's going to hold. Look at this defensive position from XYZ. They're ready.
I like this from Bonkers. They get a little bit of that mid control established, but XYZ, they realize what's happening and they're happy to play with distance, right? They've got the Vandals, they've got the better long distance weaponry. They're happy to try and find these numbers engagements upon any one of Bonkers who might be overextending themselves. Swirl no longer has a tailwind, so he's stuck and now dead.
Got to take those risks. And amongst the position, hope to get that reward on the bonus. But, you know, again, XYZ playing a very, very passive route. Punda drops back into mid. Will get heard by EZK, but he is going to be able to at least get out in towards that position. Now inside the market, does look to cruise out, but it is just going to be the info trying to be gathered. But Songre's picked up another here through the smoke, so they're doing pretty well so far. EZK gets another. There's that lurk inside mid now. Do they pull the pin here? I think they're going to go towards Akamoto.
Yeah, 2 members left on Bonkers. A little bit of damage being delivered to XYZ for sure, but 30 seconds to go. Imagine if they did walk into a Killjoy setup at the A side right now, for example, right? It's not what is actually there for Bonkers, so we'll see what Mike can do in the damage department with this Vandal. If he can take away some guns, if he can get some economic damage into their gun round, it would be all right for themselves, but now it's just going to be what with the Sheriff. We'll see what he can do, if anything, Mitch. But in terms of your first round, your first buy round coming through, if you can take away 5 into the next round as XYZ are looking to set themselves up for, you're pretty happy with that turnout.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really good run. Obviously, the damage done in that second round made it nice and easy for XYZ. But yeah, look, I guess this is the kind of first moment in time for them. Punda's going to go for the old classic, the LMG, in towards that B site. Utilizing that haunt to gain the position. Very, very.
I still hate it.
The old Sova setup. Yeah, I've never seen
I hate it.
Stick, right? Like, yeah, the Odin, it can do some good things, sure, but it definitely doesn't have the same kind of pizzazz as what the old Sova play used to do. But it looks like Punda's stepped it up, and Swell's going to go for that operator. Big investment.
We've seen Watt toy with the idea of A main control and peaks, and if XYZ realize that, he's going to get absolutely punished in this round. Logic is going straight in, actually. What a reveal. Unfortunate that he couldn't quite get some damage off this time, but they're just trying to bully their way in towards the A side. A 1-on-1 trade still favoring Bonkers here. But with all 3 members of XYZ now in towards the site, they need to get a spike plant down and then try to defend off Bonkers retake. No ultimates in play, of course, still early, which is going to help them there. But what util the Bonkers actually have to go in for this retake, Mitch?
Yeah, great Owl drone at least to sort of clear out Heaven, so they know they've got that positional advantage for now. They've got the flash to go up, but that Haunt is going to be destroyed. Also, the information gathered, but Songri not quite ready for it. Blob does get one, but now he's got a couple more members coming from Heaven. Does see the member over towards the door, but it is going to be easy. K gets 1, gets 2, but Minimize is going to deny and punish. Operator secured, and the recovery on the site is done. Great job from the in-game leader here, so they all go down to just 1. So it was a great start there from Bonkers, you know, finding the 2, giving up the site, going for the 4v3 retake, but XYZ, you know, they certainly put the sweat on just there for Bonkers.
Yeah, realizing, as I said, that Watt is, you know, trying to get that A main control time and time again, gets punished this time, doesn't he? 2-man affair for Bonkers, get forced back. XYZ, they get in towards the site, but, you know, the difference that a single extra player being alive, if it was a 3-on-3, potentially XYZ do come away with that round in the end. But regardless, with a plant means extra guns to come in towards this next round, full utility and such. Can't say the same for Bonkers, who do have access to the Cosmic Divide on what both teams with the lockdown. It's been a long while since we've seen the meta of the counter lockdowns. And I guess one of the differences for XYZ as well is that they do have the Sova, who is still alive, but you lose Songri and Logic. The Sova loses their life. What it really wants A main control, and this time he certainly made it his.
I absolutely hate that he's peaked in there, but I also love it at the exact same time. Certainly a risk versus reward play, but he's got the job done.
All the timing.
Certainly not too bad. Swirl just does drop off the position, but utilizes the tailwind again to get out.
Oh, what?
Oh my god, what a shot there from EZK. That actually starts to bring it back a little bit here in favor of XYZ rather, but they still have a bit more to do. However, the position is what is the worry here for Bonkers. They've gone all the way into mid. Minimize will hit rotation, so they've just got to make sure that they clear out the tiles.
Yeah, you've got access to from the shadows as well for Alucard. I'm a little bit interested to see if the idea of using that was there. They could have realized rotations happened towards the A side of the mid side of the map. The B was weak and potentially tried to use it to get over towards that free B site. But now it's just EZK who can't really find a target in the end. Bonkers, they take another. And this is where things start to get scary, Mitch. If Bonkers are allowed to just continue demolition on this defensive side, I mean, are we looking at another sort of scoreline series against the Hog Riders yesterday? What was it, 13-4, 13-1? I don't want to see that in a grand final like this, even though a team like Bonkers, probably should be having really, scary scoreline finishes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think it's one of those games, where it always falls back to the classic should they, would they, whatever you want to call it. Bonkers, they should be the one with the pressure on. They are the team that has a handful of, players with that international experience. They've done plenty of good things and they're very, very sharp as well. But at the exact same time, it sort of sits back and you want to see XYZ kind of put in a bit of a performance and show that they mean business. So I think everyone kind of knows their place, knows their position, and that's what XYZ should be doing. They should be just taking it nice and chill, be confident, be comfortable, and just use this as a lesson learned. But I think, I don't think if it's going to be a one-sided affair from Bonkers, it'll be a bad game by any means.
No.
So far, it's already relatively close, but they've got to give some more resistance here, XYZ, and not allow these kind of pushes to come on in.
Well, I'm looking at the kind of positionings in this round so far from XYZ. They've lost 2 over towards the B side of the map. You finally do have Logic pushing down the guts of mid, but the teammates, they haven't even walked out in toward the side of A. They get shot down by a what? Minimize realizes the mid is a, dirty position. Finds that frag. So a very clean round to come through from Bonkers. Now, finally, we get another gun round to come through from XYZ, and they are stacked on ultimates. All 5 up there. You only have 1 missing in the server, and that's on Punda, because nothing has really challenged him too far over towards the B side of the map.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Sort of touching on that point I was leaning towards, if you don't put yourself in a position where at least you're going to set up for some trades, get some aggression out, Bonkers will punish. They will kind of be those, very aggressive push styles. They're going to get hungry. They're going to go for frags. They're going to take some risks because they know they're the better team in this equation. So we need XYZ to kind of push back and deny that. But in this position, they pop the null command, so it is going to start to be some pressure being put out. Songri gets the entry. So there's a good opportunity here, Komodo, as that spike gets planted.
Null command is going to expire as well. Will we see Bonkers utilize the lockdown and maybe their own null command? I like the space that XYZ are taking up towards the heavens. Swirl finds Alucard, but he needs to find more because that lockdown is looking to be destroyed. Mike trying to hold it down, but in the meantime, there goes your ultimate objective in this round, and the counter's going to be there for XYZ. So there's a time limit now on the remainder of this round, but hang on a second. Minimize is looking for the half tick. Is he going to get the full before the explosion of the lockdown? He is. The defuse is there. That lockdown, they don't respect it whatsoever. And I think Logic is maybe scratching his head at the end of that round.
That's great. That is so, so good. That's Minimize, just clear, calm, and confident. He said, guys, I can just stick this. He knows the cooldowns. He knows the timers, and just absolutely locks it in there. So,
well, the fact that they all pushed heaven as well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They overextended. They got their real estate. They were able to get onto the Wuzzer site, get the aggressive pick, and, even trade out the Swirl. But by keeping everyone up in that position, too far gone, and they were allowing Bonkers straight back into the play.
I was going to say, I like the setup for XYZ. Everyone outside A main, you got good layering of those ultimates as well. Null command, you get the first opening pick onto what in the site, and things do start to shape up, but retake too strong from Bonkers rather, Mitch. And now we're kind of back to the drawing board, right? Back over towards A main, try to tempt fate against what, see what he's going to do to try and hold down the side of A if there's any extension from the XYZ members. They've been locked out by the Nebula.
I was just going to say, you can see where Swirl's at right now mentally. He's
Oh, yeah.
on Reddit twice. Definitely looking to do it again. But it is just a very slow one inside A main here. Watt gonna peek out. Doesn't quite hit the shot though. A little bit dicey. Alucard getting the entry that he needs, and now once more it is that 5 versus 4 advantage. The turret is still alive. Minimize looking for more, and it's actually going to be like to get one, but also traded out of heaven. Minimize goes down, so a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
XYZ with the advantage.
There's a big opportunity for them to gather a second round on the board right now. If there's any tap on a defuse, you can use Hunter's Fury as well. You don't want to be holding on to an ultimate for too long where you could have had a second one in the mix. This retake needs to start to come on for Bonkers. As Swirl is going to be nano swarmed out. This is just time being bought for XYZ. The double hell setup at the moment. That's where the Odin spam could actually get the better of them. Turret for info. But again, timing is of the essence. Songri good for one. And now the both remaining players for Bonkers up on the heavens. I think time is just ticking away too far. But the frags, they start to find them. That Hunter's Fury, I talked about it just before. You can try and get a half defuse, but you're on the low player for that defuse in the beginning. And just tucked behind the box. Swirl out of ammo. Oh no, that's round done. That's it.
I think he just didn't have enough time as it was, but it was
didn't have HP.
You know, Swirl went in. He knew he had to try and fight it, but yeah. Now, well done. Look at another round, Komodo, and I think it is very much born out of the fact that Bonkers kind of put themselves into some over-aggressive positions. You know, got caught out a couple of times, but I'm not feeling like this is a massive, massive diff or anything like that at this point in time. You know, XYZ, they're playing together, they're setting up nicely, and they have had their moments where they have shown a little bit of hesitation, but at least there is that level of resistance. They got the opportunity, they headed into A, they took the control, and they were able to lock it out nicely, and great exiting util as well on that Soda.
Yeah. I think one of the things as well, you know, just in the little meta there, you got to be careful of who's on the defuse. If the Hunter's Fury's there, you want all your HP. Great flash inwards mid. That is absolutely brilliant. But Punda finally getting a bit of action with that Odin. Immediately brings it back onto the 3 versus 3. And if they don't destroy this Haunt, which they should be able to, I mean, it's pretty high in the sky. They would have been revealed. So now it's the reset on the round. 3 versus 3. Alucard still with the From the Shadows to relocate to where the team goes. But remember, Mitch, you've got mid control. But that's not where you're planting the spike. So eventually they're going to have to get in towards the A setup of the Killjoy or the B setup where you've got the Odin. That Haunt will presumably be available for Punda soon, even in Nightfall. This is just where I feel things get a bit difficult for XYZ if they make one false move.
Sending that owl drone in, having a little bit of a hunt around. They are aware of it so far. Obviously, we've already got Punda with a couple of frags. We were talking about how much we didn't like the Odin fade, but hey, it'll get the thing done. Nightfall now available. 30 seconds left. They have to start to really make their way in, and now they've also found 2 as well. There's the info gathered. Haunt goes out. They're able to sort of still lock this for as long as possible. Watt looks to dive on in. Blob does get another, so at least he's putting the pressure on. But 15 seconds. They really have to get this one down now, Komodo. Alucard watching the side, and they are able to lock it down just enough time to get that spike plant 2-on-2 on the retake.
I wonder if the Cosmic Divide will be used by Watt for the back of the side, or if they'll look to go dry. Mike with HP going in first, and taking off his shoulders, and Blob will find both of them in the end. A 4K desperately needed for XYZ to get them over the line.
This guy kind of sharp. Blob. It's funny to say. Really, really putting in the work. He has been quite an impressive player so far. Positioning's been fantastic. Utility usage quite good as well. You know, holding onto that owl drone for quite some time into the end of the round. So it is, you know, starting to kind of come up towards a position where Bonkers might start to feel the sweat slightly, you know, moving on towards that attacker side into the next half. But still 3 more rounds in this one. Let's see how XYZ go, as obviously it is still going to be an economy equipped for Bonkers. And they get aggressive out towards mid again. Swirl holding the line, and he'll get the opening onto EZK.
And with that pick, you've got a bit of a creep up still as well from the KO. So we'll see what information that Minimize is going to be able to find. He's just going to hold true at the bottom, or rather the top of mid, which is kind of nice. You got Watt on the side of A. So it's looking to be this full lock-in setup for XYZ over towards the alpha side. Hunter's Fury is back online once again, but for the counter, any run into the site, Minimize can, you know, if he does start to walk over the site, deny him with the null command. You've got that Cosmic Divide for Watt there as well, with only one more Astral Star. We'll see where that's going to be used a little bit later. But EZK, it's so close to XYZ when I look at that that word at the top. Regardless, they're going to bail from the A site, Mitch, and potentially lead over towards B.
Well, the summary I just need to give is like a perfect example of how Bonkers are playing this mind game, right? They're already watching Spawn XYZ clearing out their own position. We do see Swirl missing that shot. He does get stuck. The tailwind didn't go exactly where he wanted to. Now Minimize has 2 easy frags. Top mid's clear. Now coming out of tiles. Mike is actually going to be there as well. So the Dart does get some info. At least we'll actually send them both packing. Now they're going to start swinging. Minimize has to reposition accordingly. Dart goes out. No information. Now looking over towards tiles. Spots his third. Minimize, the man is doing it. That is going to be a cheeky little fragment, but it does go a bit too far. Mike to close, and that is a perfect Bonkers round. XYZ had no idea where to look, where to go, where to hunt, and that's a setup for Bonkers.
Then the only chef's kiss would have been maybe if Swell hit the dash correctly and didn't dash into the wall and then have to try and smoke himself out to have an attempt at
many times.
escaping. The best of us don't play duelists. That's sort of second.
Oh, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Play your controllers.
Hey, they're an important role. Yeah, if you don't have controllers, it sometimes makes it more difficult. But anyway,
what did I say? Some of the best players around only became good when they stopped playing duelist.
Yeah, that's true. Null Command is going to be popped from Minimize early on, and that's just going to defeat any aggression that XYZ even contemplated going in towards the B site. And you know what as well? They countered with a Null Command of their own. So unfortunately, it's just a stalemate. It's a firm handshake that nothing's happening in the first couple of seconds of this round.
Minute 15 will be the 0 point to come out. Get a little bit of info. Cosmic Divide also goes down and just kind of playing the old pressure game right at this point in time. Not aggressing at all. Happy to kind of have those 2 members on towards the B site. They are going to make that flash out. They are going to make some money moves here as well. Komodo Punda gets 1, gets 2. You should not be doing that with the Spectre at all. Minimize. Quick on the sticks. Logic does at least get to manage to get one back, but now the Prowler goes straight out. Punda's ready for it. He is doing bits with that Spectre here. Mike to close. And that is a absolutely clinical round coming out from Bonkers. Defense, a big strength of theirs. You know they're confident. Yep. And realistically, Komodo, I've got to admit, there's maybe been that one round where XYZ looked fantastic, kind of won the round on their own volition, but Bonkers realistically kind of lost themselves those 2 rounds at least, where they've maybe overextended a little bit. But I got to admit, there still has been some excitement, some flair, and with the opening here, Bonkers, last round of the half, they set themselves up looking for 9.
Yeah, there's a bit of confusion for XYZ as well, trying to push through that Cosmic Divide. It looked like not a bit just being aware of positions of Bonkers, that they could look or overlook a position. But that happens in a game of Valorant, right? You can't always make sure that you're knowing of everything that's happening when you're trying to enter in towards a site. Do see great usage to come out from the Spectre from old mate Fade over on the B side, who's going to be by himself in this round, Mitch, because we're going over towards A site once again with 1 lockdown into a second lockdown. Are we going to see the Hunter's Fury? We are. With the update, with the patch, it requires all 3 bolts of that ultimate to destroy the lockdown, but a good flash actually to come on through. And there's the attacker's lockdown.
Cheeky move in. There's a couple of trades coming out here. XYZ, unfortunately, still at the disadvantage here, despite some good aggression. And Minimize, he does manage to find 2. He's looking to find the 3rd, and I think he will. There's the round, there's the half, 9-3. And yeah, look, it is just still Bonkers. Great synergy, great dynamic. You can tell that the communications are nice, clear, and cut. And yeah, the IGL have Minimized 14-3. Certainly not something to laugh at there.
As I said, duelists, no. This is where it's at.
Yeah, look, Swirl bottom fragging. Wake up, sheeple. No, I'm
hey, to be fair, insane. The impact that he has had in the opening frags over towards B and mid, all pretty much with the operator, mind you, it's been nice, it's been helpful. But again, you know, it's one of those things where for Bonkers right now, they don't really need to be doing anything too flashy and too difficult in towards this series, because everything that they're doing is pretty calm and collected. I mean, look, a perfect place in that round previously where they just got on the spike in a lockdown and defused it, right? They're just not cracking under pressure. That's what you want to see from a team that has a real international prospect coming forward in the next year.
Absolutely. And with obviously the pathway changing slightly, does mean that hopefully there'll be some really solid domestic competition. We'll talk about signing up in just a second, because it looks like Swirl, Punda able to pick up a couple. Nicely done on a trade from Songri, but the advantage still going the way of Bonkers here quite firmly. Minimize has already taken A site control on his lonesome. What to follow up, and spike in the hands of Punda, so it'll be nice and easy. So yeah, everyone, go on the LPL website, sign up, running it back for 2 more years. Next year should be very exciting, and as we said, with more local competition, it means that there is more opportunity for you guys here in Oceania. So get around it. As we do.
Oh, we got both of them.
Info gathered. And they're both sitting towards that door. So realistically, it is going to be a very, very tough one here for XYZ.
Yeah.
They both make their way out. Seize is there. And yeah, all the pressure. Prowler goes out as well. Punda spots. And unfortunately for old mate Alucard, I think he'll be living up to that one. Dracula going down as Minimize closes. So great stuff from Bonkers there to open the pistol.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be Bonkers drawing blood in that round, not XYZ. And I don't know, maybe in the heat of the moment, this is something you overlook, but you know that the fade is sitting toward the back of Dice. You've thrown in your 0 point and you've seen that it hit Minimize over towards main. So that's 2 players positioning that Songreed been able to find there. And then they hit the glass break as well. So that should be, you know, a mindset that I know where all 3 players are. And they still kind of looked a little bit lost from the tree door. So a little bit of one of those tidbits where, you know, maybe it's the heat of the action, too many variables to consider. But regardless, pistol round goes over towards Bonkers. It'll be a one-way setup for Alucard over towards A main at the moment. I always feel, and I agree with that, I think it was Mac said yesterday, that a one-way from Omen feels a lot better here than an Astra one-way. Astra smokes being a little bit bigger than an Omen, but you know, you got more access for an Omen over the course of the rounds too, with the Astra only having 4 stars. Bonkers denied A main. And they're going to reroute here, Mitch, just in one of these rounds that, you know, they should be gathering every day of the week. But we'll wait and see if it's actually going to happen.
Yeah, just having a dance along. Happy with what they've done over towards 8. And now they're just going to be fanging it straight in towards that B position. There is still the Nano Swarm down. That will be popped in just a second. But once again, the C's goes out straight in towards CT. That's actually going to get the catch here. So Swell into position. Logic has to get a couple. Gets one. Blob with another.
Okay.
I think that was actually through the Nebula there as well. So a great position to be found in now. Looking to clear. They are down towards the side lane though. They've got the site secured. Now that spike can be planted. Haunt should gather some info, Komodo, as it's going to be XYZ onto the retake here, but it's a 4-on-3 in their advantage.
A very high haunt, which means that anyone playing a bit closer wasn't spotted out from it. There's a lot of pressure on the timing of Mike right now because a creep up through towards the lane could expose Bonkers to losing this round. Punda good for 1, make it a second no. What's there? But then Mike swings for the 2. I talk about the timing over towards lane. It makes it look very simple. And as I said, Bonkers, they should be gathering the round. XYZ put up a bit of a fight, but drop it in the end.
I'm not even mad. Like, everyone on Bonkers is playing really well. But XYZ are still putting the pressure on to a degree. You know, they're making them work for it. And it's realistically just like the cool, calm and collected nature of Bonkers. Like, they all know each other's limits. The communications are nice and clear. They're very confident coming into this one, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're just able to get back in there, you know, even at the disadvantage, even when XYZ are finding the opportunities, they are denied. So I'm like, you know, it's certainly a bit of a one-sided affair, but it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel like it's just a one-sided stomp. You know, they're still playing Valorant the way it should be played. And Logic actually goes for that early pick in towards mid with the Bulldog, and he will be rewarded for it. But
I was about to give credit. I'll park that for now because going in towards a judge is always a dangerous thing. Songreed, I think, might be able to calculate a round victory here on this one for XYZ unless we have anything to see from Watt and Punda. But what I was going to say is, for Bonkers, credit towards their spacing, right? How spread out they are between each other in a couple of these rounds has really led to success. In this one, Mike loses his life first, and then the others do in toward main. So a little bit unfortunate as I go to praise them for something and they do the opposite. But for the defense of XYZ in this round, Mitch, they did what they needed to. An opening pick to mid, a judge just doing judge things on a choke point that's very narrow focused. There's nothing too hard to really take away from this round.
Yeah. Realistically now, it's just all down to XYZ. Don't make the mistakes. You don't need to peek. It's getting a little bit cheeky there, placing down the turret. Gathers the info, knows exactly where they are right now. Haunt goes over the top. It will be destroyed before any info is gathered. Blob in position. Logic to deny. And Logic and Songri both a bit of a hero in that round. Nice 2k for each of them. And XYZ do manage to pick up their first. But of course, that was not the full buy there. It's going to be an interesting position.
So one of the things that I
would say.
Yeah, one of the things I want to mention from that round, it was a very needed one for XYZ because they need to build economy on this defensive side. If they get plagued by a round and they don't have any economy to back it up, that's bonkers finding 12 on the back of that win and then essentially finding 13 if there's no money there from XYZ. So everything from here has to be making sure that they've got enough cash for the next round to have this weaponry, you know, being recycled to make sure that it keeps going in. So to be able to gather that round there with a little bit of the lesser equipped weaponry is really well placed for them. It gives them a couple of rounds of extra change to play with here, unless they drop something on the classic demise. The bonkers have no weaponry, but I don't think that'll happen.
So this Blob kind of looking pretty sharp. Watt does manage to take down one, but whilst he is on the side, it is going to be a lot more for him to overwhelm. Punda gets two. Punda gets three. Hang on a second. This should never be happening here. Komodo.
I spoke, didn't I?
An old Maple play if you run it back a little bit further. And now Songri with a lot on his plate right now. He's going to creep his way in. Watt gets the info. There's going to be the fragment going down. Now he sets the pace low. That Nightfall, though, it's going to spot him. It's going to gather the info. They know exactly where he is right now. Punda, Prowler goes out. They just need to keep him at bay here. 0 Point is going to get the information, and now that flash drive goes out, but the reposition, it is there. This has been played to absolute perfection by Punda, and it's going to be Watt to close it. What a phenomenal round there from the big man on the fade.
I had to open my mouth, didn't I? As soon as everybody starts whiffing on the side of XYZ, Punda just comes out and lays down the law. 3 Sheriff headshots, I think, in the end, and then they just get the B site. The 0 Point gets both of the players on the site, but the thing is, you've got no audio when you get hit by that Nightfall, right? So I got to give really big props to Watt to realize that no audio means that even if he's revealed by 0 Point and he's suppressed, he can reroute and get into a new position that, unfortunately, for the side of XYZ, they cannot hear. So really well positioned now from Bonkers. I need to close my mouth to not jinx things. But now we potentially see the last round of Ascent here, unless XYZ come out with some really big things.
And there's a big thing. Damage dealt, minimize, swirl, getting the job done. Songri at least does get a level of a response, but Punda already straight in towards market. Blob does have the info. He's up very, very close here. Great shot, good defense. Songri very, very low here. Obviously no healing capability here. No Sage, no heal plus. And now they will spike, head back up towards short. Blob does get the info, but it's going to be Alucard. Does have the one way with the Dark Cover here, Komodo, and he is going to...
Yeah, it's powerful.
Sees, there we go. You were talking about it earlier, that Astra v Omen play up. And Mike actually does start to creep his way back, because look at this position from Watt now. He's actually going to get all that info. There you go. Well played. Fantastic stuff. That's the communication being key right now. Real. There we go. There's the info, and now it's all on to Blob. Can you do it here, my friend? Give it your best crack.
You should run.
No access to the recon bolt either. 20 seconds. A Killjoy lockdown. He just has to jump in and get decapitated. There it is. 13-4, the final scoreline. You know, I made mention to it. Hog Riders, that first map that Bonkers did face, it went 13-4. I was wondering if it was going to be the same sort of story that we'll be singing here. And unfortunately, in this one, all we needed to do was read the blurb to figure out what happens.
The script was already written itself kind of thing. But look, I've got to give it to it. That was still a very, very exciting game. We saw some big moments of individual brilliance, but overall, it really was Bonkers that was stepping up to the plate and showing their prowess. So, look, will that continue into the next couple of maps? Will it be that 3-0, or will XYZ get a response back? We're going to take a very, very quick break. Make sure you go tweet at LPL Valorant who your favorite Asian is and why. And in that interim, we'll see you back after the break.
That guy's Energy here, and I am here at the Sky Tower in Taimaki Makoto to check out the new Sky Slide, which is just opened. Let's go check it out. This is their brand new virtual reality experience based up on their main observation deck. It's a crazy ride, offering 360-degree views of Auckland at up to 100 kilometers per hour. The motion platform imitates the 3D rendered open-air slides, twists and turns above the skies of Tamaki Makaurau. Counting down. Punch it. Let me at him. Hey! Free air. Whoa! Whoever's done the render for this has done like an incredible job. Whoa! It's also really comfortable. Like the motion platform's super nice. It's actually really selling all of these like different twists and turns. Another free fall, free fall. Whoa! Whoa! We're heading home, boys. We're heading home. Whew. So it's $40 for the experience, which includes viewing platform access, or it's just $15 on top of your tower ticket. And it's for ages 8 and up.
You can tell a person's character by their first action. Check me then, eh?
It's a bullseye. Only type of light that I ever hide from is the red and blue lights. I don't sing their song. I don't. Where you at? Yeah, where you come from?
Lost enough.
Who you wanna become?
You dead.
Move your body. Move a leg. Everybody here.
Welcome to gravity.
One to the right, down, one to the left. Never stay still. Move again.
We saw the beginning and the continuation. Now, the end. We are above them.
Anything I want, baby, gonna take that. Much I want, so I'm never leaving. Whole team
Better
with me,
luck
you could never
next
break
life.
that. Protect at all costs, yeah, like a wave cat.
Relax, my friend. Time and space, they know what you think.
It's a bullseye.
This just in. Reports of a disaster in Italy.
안녕하십니까. 이탈리아에서 들어온 지각이 폭발해 공중으로 떠오른 사건이 발생했습니다.
Sta galleggiando a 300 metri da terra.
Radionite may have been involved.
Kingdom, whose Radionite power program accounts for more than 3/4 of the world's energy production, have denied any connection to this disaster.
Anyone with information on the two unidentified radiants spotted at the scene is being asked to come forward.
You showed up?
We're picking up gunfire. Did you locate the spike?
That would be a yes?
Stay close. Weapons ready.
I was born ready.
This way.
Hey, take a look.
Not gonna lie, this intro kind of goes pretty hard, and so did that first game. It was a 13-4 in favor of course, Bonkers on the opening map of Ascent, but it is that best of 5 Komodo, and of course, with the cheeky fresh map around the corner, XYZ still have a couple more opportunities to get back into it.
Absolutely. Again, you know, I want to throw it back to there were a couple of key rounds in this series from XYZ where they just missed out on it, right? If they had equalized in maybe what was a 4v3 to a 3 versus 3, might have had a different outcome. But Bonkers just ahead of the curve time and time again. You got individuals putting up performances where required. You had just key discipline come through from a couple of their members, and what we were kind of expecting from this series to be clean from Bonkers is absolutely what we got. So it's shaping up nicely for them coming in towards the second map here, which is Bind from memory.
Yeah, it is. And it's obviously the map pick of Bonkers as well, a team that is very, very, very strong on Bind. You know, Bind's one of those maps as well where I swear to God, during the course of the year, though, I've been like, this team's really good at Bind, and Bind can be very one-sided. Then they just lose. It's crazy. So we'll have to see how that all works out. But look, ultimately, I think for a team like Bonkers that is very well-rounded, their defense is really, really good, but so is their offense. They're obviously going to be starting on that offense as we go into this map here. So I think unless they kind of really seed themselves into the opening few rounds, it does kind of put the pressure on them a little bit. But, you know, ultimately, there is that chance to bounce back. You know, even if we see scorelines out to kind of that 9-3, you know, a strong defensive side really can kind of put the opposing team into the pits. So time will tell. Obviously, we'll find out more in the agent selection as well. That's what I'm keen to see. Given all these teams, you know, it is the 5.12 patch, but it does appear that people are at least moving away from Chamber for now.
Well, that's something I'm just looking up for refreshing my memory of what we saw yesterday. Pearl, Haven, Ascent were the only 3 maps that were played in both of those series. They both had the 3 of them. So I'm thinking over towards the guarantee of Bind and the guarantee of Icebox here. It should actually open up, you know, a bit of difference.
Absolutely. And of course, you know, we were talking earlier about a cheeky little tweet that was going on before, and there is actually another one here. So of course, use the hashtag OTC when responding to LPL_Valorant. And yeah, tell us who your favorite agent is and why, because as I had before, I have one of these on my desk. They're pretty good. They do the audio thing quite great. And look, it's coming up to Christmas, mate. If you don't want it, give it to your cat or something like that. Who cares? Someone will take it because, yeah, it is great. And thank you, obviously, to EPOS for doing that one. But it is an interesting thing, as we sort of discussed, right? Favorite agent comp, right? It can be anything. There's definitely many reasons why people pick what they do. And of course, that'll be an interesting pick, Dion, if we end up seeing that.
Harbour.
Surely it's just bait. Surely it's bait, right?
Well,
okay, there we go. Yes, it's bait. It's
no. For Euros, we've seen 5 Jets before on our show match way back when.
True.
Let's bring in this show match of 5 Euros.
Let's go.
But no, shout out to we saw Swirl on that tweet there as well. My favorite agent is Jet because Jet lets you 1v9 in comp and go negative in officials. Can confirm he promised to the Twitch chat that he'll try his hardest to go positive in this series, so we'll have to wait and see. But we always love good banter, you know, from the players in the lobby as well, and good patience as well, making sure they don't spoil the scoreline in the end, waiting for that to finish before typing. So always good respect. You know what isn't respectable though? Baiting us with Yoru and not picking Yoru.
It's okay. It's okay. It looks like they are starting to settle in now. I do like the Cypher here as well from Mike. You know, Mike was always historically a very, very solid Cypher player. Also good on that Sage. Swell going back to his, you know, the old school as well. You know, moving off the Jet, going on to that Raze. Happy with that. Punda swapping out to the Brim. Also very, very strong. But it's going to be double, obviously, controllers here with that Viper as well.
I was waiting for Sage.
Very heavily leaning into it. Yeah, look, Sage, that could be right. Yeah, wow. Okay, so we're moving away completely from the Sentinel in that regard, and it looks like it's on the other side too. So this is 2 quite different agent compositions, Komodo, and I think could make for a very, very spicy bind.
I want to say it was Fnatic last year who brought out this composition on this map. I might be wrong, but it was some EU-esque team that brought out the double controller, you know, Viper Brim and a Sage. It just led into some really cool executions over towards the A site and controlling with the wall, right? Because you've then got access to both sides of the map with different smokes that you want. You got that Sage wall where you can, you know, one play that sticks in my mind was over towards Showers. They had short control and Showers control where they threw out the wall from Showers, the Sage wall rather, planted in like a little corner, and then they had the Viper mollies and the Viper smoke and the wall and all of that shenanigans afoot. Post-plant meta, this composition was kind of nutty. But regardless, as you mentioned, Mitch, Bonkers starting on the attacker's side of their own map pick, coming in with the composition that, you know, I got to say, maybe XYZ have never faced before, right? Because this isn't one of your normal common, I would say, in air quotes, lineups to come through.
Well, typically on a map like Bind, you know, we're sort of seeing
That was a
have
send.
been for quite some time, rather, players move away from the double duelist, but, you know, XYZ are moving into that, so could be great, could be bad. Time will tell, of course. I was going to say, you know, going back to that tweet, what's the agent you like to play the most? What's the agent you hate playing against the most? Mine's Reyna, and that's because I'm bad, so we'll have to see how Logic can put that one through. You know, can be efficient on a map like Bind, but we do like the agent composition of Bonkers a little bit more here. But again, you know, starting on that attacker side, it's going to make it tough. They're walking down there short. Gun barrel spotted, but Blob actually does get the advantage here on this fade Komodo, so starting out nice and strong.
So now Bonkers have lost one of their smoke aspects, right? They still have the Brimstone available, which is a neat little prospect. And I do want to just say thank you to Crash for saying that it was a Send, not Fnatic. Fnatic did play with the double controller, but not this specific lineup with a Sage. So always do love that extra helping information. Good little dink out from Swirl. He's going to force EZK back. You still have a strong defense here for the defenders.
Straight on in. Has a cheeky little sticky beak over towards the showers, but of course he's just trying to get that forward positioning, and they do actually try to get the Hawk out to try and get some further info, but it is going to be Logic to pick up one. So the denial there onto Swirl now. 3 versus 5. It's going to be a very, very tough hold down, but Punder at least gets one back. Advantage is slightly lost. Mike now onto the other side as well. It's going to be very, very tough here, but they do move past the barrier wall. Blob does get another. Mike spots it out though. Logic does get punished. Now a fake onto the tap. The heal is there. So still the pressure does amount. They've got to continue this hold for as long as possible. Blob does pick up another. All left on the minimize, and it's not going to be enough. So XYZ with a very, very nice and synergized retake get the opening round done.
3 alive. We'll see if Bonkers are going to force up into the next one, because they did get the plant. But I've got to say, you know, the shots to come through from XYZ, maybe it was a little bit too fancy to come through from Bonkers. I still do like the fact, you know, that they can experiment here, right? If you are a team that is, you know, probably expected to win, and you have a couple of rounds here that you're trying something new and you're still able to recover, I think that's fine. So we'll wait and see what is going to happen. But for XYZ, confidence to get the pistol and confidence to continue on the defensive side as far as they can is going to be paramount to seeing how far they can actually push Bonkers in this series. And by the way, the answer for the agent that I hate to play against is anyone who's very fast, because my eyes don't work and I have a low sensitivity.
Well, that's, yeah, me as well. It's not my eyes, though. Like, my eyes are fine. I mean, fine is certainly an overstatement, but it's more just my body doesn't react the way it used to. I haven't sat on aim labs for the last 7,000 hours.
No, wrong. If you're playing a video game, you practice in the video game, not another video game, because then you're doing practice for that game, not this game.
Dude, controversial opinion. Careful.
I'll say it. It's 2022. new year, new me. I'll bring it back next year.
True. All right. So it is just going to be a nice, easy cleanup here, as usual. Not really a whole lot to kind of expect from a round like this. Songree's managed to pick up 4,
nice.
So you've got to be happy stacking up a couple of cheeky ones in that eco round. Good kind of position to find yourself in, and 5 alive into the bonus. That's awesome. So realistically, you know, they've set up really, really nicely here, XYZ, to kind of counter out to Bonkers. They've got that early position that they were kind of looking for, that we spoke about, right? You know, you want to really get off on the right foot on this defender side.
No, absolutely. And you can see with maybe you call it an over purchase from Watt and Minimize, to get all their utility, they have to go down to the light shields here. So we'll see what they are indeed going to be doing in towards this next round. I like the fact that even if you've got 5 alive for XYZ, you don't need the full shield too, because you want to have your extra something in towards the next round. And that's what's, I believe it was one of the players on XYZ. They bought light shields into this round. Might have been Alucard. Yeah, it was.
I just tried to push tab to get board for what I'm using.
Yeah.
it's been a little bit.
It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. But
well, if anyone missed earlier, it's been what, since Dublin since we've come together. So we're warming up. We're getting fresh.
August.
And it's going to be fresh out long from the garden, it would look like. There's a couple of warning shots fired out by Blob. But Logic, very, very good position. Look at this. They've completely left showers.
Remember.
And, no flank utility.
No chamber because of the change, and no Cypher or Killjoy means there's no flank watching. So you have to have it in your mindset that you're possibly getting flanked. It could be huge from Logic depending on how much trigger discipline he chooses to use here. It's an opener though for Minimize. Trade back from Alucard. Can he find another one? He cannot. But now is the time for Logic to shine. What is stuck at the back of this wall? But now they know where Logic is. It's a 1 versus 3 to see how he navigates this one. It's going to be difficult.
30 seconds left.
Spike drop was a good position to be found in for now, but yeah, the trades were just a little bit too quick for Logic, unfortunately. They did very, very well, Bonkers, to get themselves into the site. Oh. Bonk on the nose there.
Caught him in the Pokeball.
Slow orb, yeah. Fortunately not a Master Ball, so he doesn't go out just yet. So a lot of work to do. The wall does kind of isolate Watt, but it surely will break by the time that he looks to get in there. And yeah, look, Logic's got too many angles to look against right now. It would be a monumental mess up from Bonkers to let that one slide, and they don't. So ultimately a nice tight nick pack is exactly what Bonkers need to close out that first round. So very, very nicely done from them. 1-2. The bonus is not secured from XYZ, but they can move in with this full buy into the next.
Potentially might have a tech pause here. Yep, that comes in because Easy K has disconnected. So we'll give it a little hot minute to see what is going to happen on the regards of XYZ in that fashion. But for Bonkers, you know, their first purchase up, Mitch, they survive with 3 players. You'll be, I guess, acceptable in that one. Punda looking like he's going to be dropping down into a Guardian come this next round. So we'll see if that's going to have any difference. But Mike, he's one away from the Resurrection. If you've got access to that in your first big gun round against your opponents, that could be the 6th member that, you know, seals the deal and getting you the round on the board to tie things up. So a lot of avenues, a lot of thought processes that these teams are going to be able to discuss coming in towards this pause.
Always a good opportunity to use it. But yeah, Easy K, looks like it's just a basic disconnection there. So we'll get that addressed and get that sorted out very, very soon. But yeah, what we were discussing earlier, just a good little opportunity for everyone in chat who has been discussing it earlier on. Tweet at LPL_Valorant, hashtag OTC, the Overtime Cup, of course. Who is your favorite Valorant agent to play and why? That is certainly one of the things that is cool about Valorant. You know, there's obviously so many different agents coming in. They've all got lore. They've all got backstories. It's something that Riot has always done very, very well.
Indeed.
All I'm waiting is just for bloody agent skins, I'm sure, in the future. There'll be pick bans, there'll be nerfs, there'll be buffs, there'll be everything under the sun.
On that topic as well, what the lineup of agents where, you know, you could pick in a certain order and, you know, your teammates can't pick for a couple of seconds and then you pick and that sort of stuff. They had a word for it. Cascade agent picks, I think it was. I'm waiting for that. I think that's a cool idea, but a lot of people have voiced concern. Regardless, insta-locking still a problem. What did the Corgi do to you?
It's bonkers, dude.
Because we're in December.
Yeah, true.
And it's 2023 in like 2.5 weeks. 3 weeks? No, 2.5 weeks.
On 2023, right? New pathway, new changes, plenty of things happening. It's going to be a very, very exciting year ahead. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what happens. So make sure you do all sign up. Again, you know, even if it's just a motley crew of friends to get in there, it is much, much better playing officials than it is pugs in Immortal. I guarantee you and tell you that from experience on both Singapore and right? So jump in, get signed up, get amongst it.
Oh, the double TP to come on through.
Trade already, yeah. Look at the TP. So
I like it.
Damage already dealt, and it's going to actually go the way of XYZ Komodo.
Yeah, it means no resurrection available for Mike too. So this is a 4 versus 2 turned into a 2-on-2 because Punda was at the B side of the map and then reverse TP'd to get the better of him. And now Bonkers, a round that they probably had no right in winning because of the nice play in the beginning for XYZ, gets stolen away from them because Punda did something unexpected.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice. Well, it's the aggression, right? That we were talking about that kind of got XYZ the advantage, but Bonkers were pretty quick to react, so that is that kind of team dynamic. You know, their communications are good, they're fresh, their aim is nice and crispy. They've been playing through the game. They've been certainly... That's the thing, you know, all these players, this 5, have been putting in the hard yakka from the day dot. You know, there has been no breaks, there's been no changes. They've been playing through the whole way and now looking for some aggression. A cheeky shot onto one. Minimize obviously does have the regrowth there if he wants to throw it out. So it looks like they're going to get the Trailblazer out. The TP is through. And is there anything spotted? No, not so far, but it looks like still Bonkers are going to go for that aggression in anyway. Swirl's got the satchels out and the site secured, wall down. It's going to be a 5-on-5 retake here. Oh,
yeah, the problem I was going to say is they don't have any way to fully clear out Hookah because they don't have that much damaging utility, so they send in a guiding light, and that's the only information they get. That risky resurrection to try and bait it on through. Mike manages to find one, but Mini gets traded out, and this is just a bit of a clown fest happening right now. How many people do you shove in towards this cart right now? I don't know. 3 versus 3. Plant goes down. It's just looking scrappy from both sides. Watt finds Blob. Logic's got a 1v1 against Swirl, and he needs to win this one because Watt's just taken out his teammate, caught in a reload. And sometimes these rounds in Valorant get tricky, but sometimes the teams just know better.
Man, that's why I love that so much. I guarantee you that's Minimize getting res, being like, don't res me! And he's died twice in the one round. But Mike's got 2 kills as a result of it. So very nicely played on the old bait and switch. Knew there was 2 inside Hookah, and that res was just enough to kind of shake it off. So definitely think Minimize will be a bit tilted by that one, but it's all about the dub here, and Bonkers certainly getting that. 3 rounds now in their back pocket, and XYZ still looking to kind of try to get their way into this. You know, they had that wriggle room at the start. They've got to buy. Logic trying to get aggressive here. Arena hasn't been doing exactly what it needs so far, and now a little bit of early damage exchange, but nothing happening just yet. Looks like there's actually going to be a pace picked up here, Komodo.
Uh-oh, you're done.
Towards the A side, it is going to be the orbital strike to start at Logic. Poor thing has been punished a couple of times. Heal goes out, Spike goes down, and now it's all going to be onto that retake, but there's another orbital strike ready from Alika.
Oh, he's waiting for something, but what is it going to be? Are they going to try and combination the ults here? They are indeed. Nightfall and orbital strike, but both of them kind of go awry. A 1-on-1 trade. Mike finally losing his life in that one after doing some good work. Post plant, a tap on the defuse. It's going to land nicely, but what do they have after the fact? Do we have mollies from Watt as well? I think we're throwing it back towards old post plant meta. We do. This is disgusting. Incendiary into Snake's Bites, and with Punda being pressured, how do you get the back into this round if you're XYZ? I don't think you can. This is just dastardly.
It is literally one of those empty rounds, right? We were talking about having an agent, because even so, right, does Harbor's orb thing block projectiles, or is it just bullets?
Bullets.
Just bullets, yeah. So
it's the same as like the big old cosmic wall. It doesn't block abilities. It's shootables,
which the abilities still in a post plant can't be destroyed at this point. So that's
you can body block them.
True, but that's basically a round where it's like gonna have to clean the sweat off the keyboard up.
Absolutely. The only real out for XYZ would kind of be to, you know, pressure the players shooting those abilities for the post plants, or having a way to impact the abilities, so someone jumping into them, or a Sage wall that could potentially bounce them in a different direction. But XYZ aren't playing Sage, so that's where it's like one of those just unfortunate things where comp difference plays a key part, and Bonkers are just ahead on how to play with their agents. They've found an open A site now, Mitch, and we'll see what XYZ can do in a 5 versus 5 retake.
Yeah, when you're playing against Minimize, you know you're going to be getting something of that caliber, and now it is going to be that full 5-on-5 retake. So you've got members on the flank here, but it is obviously with that ill-equipped buy. It's a Sheriff here for Logic.
Oh, they're doing it again.
Very far forward. Mike does get the opening. Yeah, poor Logic. He's been getting wrecked so far. Swirl with another. Nice and easy. Very, very flicky. That's what the Swirl you like to see. He said he was going to go positive in this one, and he is making some money moves towards that. Blob does cop one with the Guardian, but Watt's already got his number, so they're going to look for something. Swirl's moving on in. He's got the classic out, and he's looking just for kills at this point in time. He wants to step up to the plate, and he's certainly got that right now. So Swirl on the raise with a 3K. Nice and easy round for Bonkers, and they basically just walked into that A site for free.
So here's a concern I have with teams that have a very well-established, very experienced IGL, and versus teams that have a new up-and-coming IGL that might be forced into the role. I don't 100% know. How do you figure out a solution for something that is quite powerful that Bonkers are throwing at you right now? Post plants, where they're allowing Punda to set up with Incendiary, Watt to set up with Snake's Bites. If you're XYZ, how do you counter that, knowing that the post plant is going to happen, right? Do you go to B and try to use your map teleporter to get the better of them? They've done it before, but they lost it. And now, Mitch, it's back in towards this A side. Are Bonkers going to set themselves up for another post-plant solution? You do have a flank push through showers for XYZ at the moment, so maybe this is something different for them to try and get the better of Bonkers.
Look at this. Straight towards B.
It's fake.
It's an absolute fake. It's a bait. It's all a ruse. Logic
And Songri
needs
knows,
to be aware,
maybe.
but nah, because they haven't even planted it, so no one is aware at all. Logic is starting to look in towards CT, but Swirl, here we go. This is the kind of round that he needs. Boost the ego a little bit, get that 3 kills in. Logic has actually punished those, so this could get a little bit dicey.
Hang on a second.
It could get scary. Logic, I've been talking about him. He's been having a rough one, but now the Sky Smokes have to go down. Punda, he's actually smoked himself in. Now
Swirl
Logic has
CT,
to find the fight, but Swirl will deny, and it is the 4K. He's looking for the ace, wants to try deny it, knows exactly where Songri is. Punda is going to be just sort of baited out by that paint shell, but he's just waiting, being very, very patient. Here's the guiding light go out, and Swirl, there's your ace, my friend. Thank you very much. Now change your tweet about Jet to raise.
I just want to throw it out there, Mitch. He got an ace, but he didn't do it with 5 headshots, so I don't know if I'm going to give him a pass mark.
Come on, man.
He got 4 headshots, not 5.
It was pretty good, I got to admit.
No, it was
nice
pretty
and
good.
crispy, nice and sharp. That's the Swirl you know and love.
Yeah.
Obviously being a player on everyone's radar for a very, very long period of time with his flashy kind of plays. He's finished school now, I believe, so he's actually got a little bit of extra time to invest. Now he's wrapped up with his Year 12 exams. Congratulations. So
yeah,
we'll see some big things from him next year, because he's dabbled in everything. You know, he's played Quake, he's played CS, he's done it all. So hopefully we see him doing some cool things into 2025.
Absolutely. Big opener though for XYZ, taking down Watt over at the A side of the map. They have access to a pretty quick flank if they do want it, but you talk about the speed demon himself in Swirl. See if he's going to be able to extend out onto anything in this round of Judge. Songri, he snuck himself into a pretty sinister position, but yeah, if they TP out, Watt's wall means nothing. Swirl, I believe they know he's stuck in elbow. I think they know he's here.
Yeah, they do, for sure. And I think all they're just going to sort of do is like, Swirl, look, we're going to leave you.
Oh, what's back?
And you can go off and 1v5 if you really, really want to right now. Swirl, he's going to move in towards CT, and I don't think he's going to get the spot on the timing. They're coming back. Oh my God, minimize, bro. You get it.
It's that meme where you've got the brain, where it's like, you know, different tiers of the brain. Minimize is on the like the godlike galaxy brain one.
Fake A, no, fake B.
Yeah, now we'll see what they can actually do at B, because EZK and Logic are starting to get activated in towards this round. Logic's found 3. Remember, the resurrection did come in, so what was brought back to life. But can he actually do anything? They can't.
No.
Fake A, fake B, fake A, go A. I don't know.
Oh, Swirl even gets the orb as well. One more towards that ultimate. He might even be able to get the one. No, the showers one is gone, so that's okay.
Songri's short, though.
Yeah, they're both here. They're all very, very quick. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I was like ramping up for another hype round, but I'm glad it was denied there. That got a little bit too much.
All right, we're going to have a reset here on the casting side of things, and Bonkers get reset.
It's like in a DJ set where they spin the deck just so they can like slow it down, restart.
Yeah, maybe slowing down is what Bonkers need to do, because they get a couple of heated rounds in there, but now they drop one to XYZ, who get all their guns up. They do have access to the Nightfall once again. That's the only ultimate currently online. Swirl one away from the showstopper. And what are we going to be seeing from XYZ? Another showers control start to a round. The Haunt not going to spot anything. False into security, because Ponda, he's going to be taken down on the back of that. Can minimize the answer back in turn. Good for one, but not a second. Snappy come through from Logic, and now the jig is up. The short play has been spotted, and XYZ, they've got a firm grasp on what to do with the remainder of this round. Are you kidding me? What? With a flick of the sentry, Mike to find EZK, and now it's a 2 versus 2. Another round where it was quickly 4 on 2 Mitch, but Bonkers, they snap back.
They were looking really, really good there for a second. Logic has picked up, absolutely. He's been looking super fresh on that Reyna, but yeah, Watt with the flick to break the wrist across the mouse pad.
And through the wall.
Alucard is still there. Let's get the Molotov out. Songri looking to try and deny Mike here. It is getting a little awkward. Guiding light does go out around the corner, but we step back, and there it is. Watt just reloads those snake bites nice and happily. Mike is still there. He's even going to take some for the team. Songri, I don't even know if he can really do much. If they got the secondary as well, yet another incendiary to come out.
What can't stop it?
On that defuse. Oh, it's tight, but it's not enough. And that's the round done, and unfortunately that is how Valorant is sometimes played, ladies and gentlemen.
I know how long the snake bites last, but I didn't think that I thought he shot them both pretty much at the same time. Wow, that had to be a couple of milliseconds.
Really late,
yeah,
just with the poison cloud, obviously the vulnerability.
I actually wonder how much longer that second snakebite had on the floor, because it doesn't do too much damage by itself, but you got to combo it with the instant decay of the poison cloud, and then it becomes powerful. So I mean, credit to Watt, right? He gets he does the job that he needs to do.
Got your trail.
Pushing down short again, looking to get very aggressive. Mike gets one, but unfortunately Sage doesn't have the same skill set as Jet. Minimize though around the other side. Swirl's going to make quick work with the showstopper, and it's a very, very quick play once more. Triple stack plant though this time round, as it looks like the orbital strike will actually go down. It's quick enough, but not just enough, as Punda does get some damage dealt, but he's able to cruise on out. And now Minimize get very aggressive in towards that CT smoke as well. The boombot goes through, and they are going to spot very, very soon. Punda's got to be careful, because look at this Komodo. They're so close up towards heaven, but they are close. They are personal. Punda gets another. Make it two. Minimize is looking for the knife. We've seen it in rank, but now we see it in the official. Bonk to the head. 8 rounds secured by the boys.
That's what Bonkers were doing yesterday in their game against the Hog Riders. They got a couple of knives in the game, and they're carrying it over in towards this one. I was wondering in the end if Punda was going to use his incendiary. Didn't even need to. The shots to come out from his regular gun onto the ill-equipped opponents, not really there. And Minimize, yeah, he's 4 and 10, but he's still laughing. Again, you know, if he's on the calling sticks and he's making sure that his boys are just getting the job done, it's really all you can ask for in the end. An 8-3 scoreline so far. Bonkers looking for the 9. If you're superstitious, maybe you call it the cursed scoreline, and maybe XYZ have a bit of a comeback, but certainly need to, you know, turn that dial up a little bit more, Mitch, I feel, for them. That's one way to start nicely. Logic on towards Watt. Swirl, though, found the first opener. And it's a bit more spread out. We'll see what Minimize can do to bring over a bait. Logic's caught sleeping, actually.
Hungry picks up another, so at least that does be a little closer. But Swirl's going to deny it. Alucard, poor thing, left all on his lonesome. And with that spike going all the way back towards A, it is free reign. Obviously, we do have Minimize spawn, and that's where the pressure kind of, oh, that's just toxic. You love to see it. But it is the last round. It is the last position, of course. That orbital strike does get some damage dealt, but Swirl closes.
Brimstone's on the A site, by the way. He's altered.
I know.
Yeah. You don't need to be at the site with the, contingencies. It's nice.
It's good. Just kill secured, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for all the flashiness that Bonkers are putting in towards this series, folks, if you have just joined us, this is them still having a bit of fun with this series, right? Because they're a team that, you know, travels with the best, right? They battle against the best that our region has to offer. And for Xyz, this is a learning curve for them. This is getting in experience, finding what works together as a unit, finding what doesn't work. Because remember, you learn a lot from a loss. And coming in towards the next circuit for 2023, this is a very good experience match for XYZ. They take away cash regardless, first or second place, and then the practice before the real circuit begins.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the coolest thing for me is it's been a couple of months between drinks for me on the old Valorant circuit, and seeing so many people in the chat saying g'day, and especially fans for XYZ as well as Bonkers makes me really, really happy, getting those viewers in. So big thank you to everyone, and of course another reminder to make sure you sign up for next year. As I said, more fun playing those officials than those ranked games. I guarantee it from experience. So check out the LPL website when you can. What? Pushing through with a frenzy. It only does get that one frag found, though, as Blob's able to trade it out. So XYZ at a minor advantage for the time being.
Yeah, we'll see if they can hold on to it. A double TP. Blob might have a chance to take out Swirl if he overlooks the corner on the knife. The quick switch, the dink, but that's where some shield does certainly help. 3-on-3. Retake now. XYZ. Let's see if they can hold down the site and start to mount a bit of a comeback.
Slowly but surely creeping their way in towards that defender side spawn position. They are very, very close. Logic, all focus, and that's actually the wrong way here. Komodo, don't know. He's run out of the opportunity. He wants it. No, Minimize.
That's Mike.
You deserve it. It was Mike. Wait, no, it was
That's Mike on the stage.
Oh, hang on.
Minimize is on the sky.
Yeah, no,
the other healer.
Oh, shut up. I was looking at the wrong thing, all right? I must have had my focus set elsewhere, but punished for going for the knife, going for the bonk, regardless. I was literally like, I think it's just because I'm so set with seeing Minimize just tweeting out all of his
Oh, the knife Taj?
Knife Taj, exactly. That's where my mind was set. But anyway.
I saw that.
Punished for going for it, which I respect. XYZ get the advantage, get the opportunity. And now that sort of sets them up for a couple of rounds. But obviously on that attacker side, it's going to be tough.
Oh, Haunt's out. It's going to be destroyed. Easy K. See what he can do with the Tailwind activated, if he can find anything. Songri, that is a very unfortunate time to bring out a Trailblazer. The Classic had minimized to find that one, and now Logic is finding a gap. So there's gaps upon gaps. There's layers upon layers. It's like an onion round right now. 2 versus 2 in a round that Bonkers went in with hardly anything. You're not happy if you're XYZ at the moment. That's a little bit better now that you only do have to deal with Minimize, who is on 20 HP.
Oh, he's close.
Oh, no, he's been baited.
Oh, that could have been the most god tier timing for a second, but
you would never
work out.
You would never expect to die in the cave.
No.
To someone flanking in a situation like, okay, that's a round that we're just throwing it into a deep dark corner and forgetting about.
Listen, Dion, Valorant is the only game that I've ever played where I've been a defender and felt like an attacker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the way it goes.
I mean, except for Call of Duty, maybe, but that's another story.
That's not a game. What do you mean?
It's a lifestyle.
I've been casting with you for like 4 years, bro. That's probably the thing that's caught me off the most. Okay. Easy round. Should be nice and chill here for Bonkers to lock out with those extra weapons. Bonus round going to be a bit of a challenge here for the XYZ boys. But look, you know, at least they brought it up to 5. They've already beaten their record from the previous map.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able to get some more. You know, if they win this round, then we're starting to cook with fire. Cook with fire, cook with gas. That's the way. Push through the smoke, though, is a little bit risky as Minimize manages to find Blob. Mike will find that one. It's a bit of a rinse round that we saw earlier from XYZ with the crunch on towards the TP. But both times Bonkers have found the better end of that duel.
Oof. Easy K. Hasn't been having the best of games, unfortunately. Does get punished, but still is doable here. However, what? Never mind. He's on the flank. He's wrapped it up. And he's put a nice little bow on top of it, I do believe, as he drops Alucard as well. Keep going to call him Dracula. That is the 10th round. So Bonkers secure their proper buy. Happy with it. And now it should be that full buy back in from XYZ, I think. But obviously, after a fair bit, it's going to be...
You got to cut your losses in a round like this and take a bit of a knee. You don't have full equipment available. You don't have full guns. So you go in with a half buy potentially. You see Bonkers gather 11 before you get another proper buy, and then anything else, you lose 12, and then you're saying goodbye to the map. So it's these really big high risk, high reward if you do go in for a full investment. And we'll see if it is going to pay off for them. The problem being, Mitch, Bonkers have 4 players slated toward the B side of this map. That's not what you want if you're XYZ.
Straight into... Oh, never mind. It's been punished. Doesn't quite happen. Logic does get... Oh, he's a little shaky, but he does secure it. So 2 kills with the Sheriff there. Still inside the hookah, though.
Okay.
He's going to be able to pick it up. So Mike does have that res, but there's not many people kind of in position to do it. The Lear goes out, so it makes it awkward. And that's a great round there from Logic. The aggression works out. Minimize tries to get up close and personal with that judge, but doesn't quite work out. So very, very well played there from XYZ. They get a bit of a diamond in the rough round.
Yeah, definitely needed some individual to step up on the side of XYZ in that round. And it just happens to be Logic, who, was one of the players in yesterday's game that was making sure that these clutch rounds did come through. When he was playing the Jet from memory was on Ascent that he was really shining. And then Breach when it was over on Haven, topping out on the Breach. Loved to see that. So if you need someone to step up and it's your player that, is the usual player that steps up and they start to step up, now you're starting to see the cogs turning. But a round reset would certainly hamper XYZ from continuing forward. That is an Ares purchase from Swirl.
It's always that one weapon that I forget that exists. It's like someone buys it, it's like, what's that thing called again?
Well, Couple of ultimates for XYZ to be able to play with, but the flip side, Bonkers too, and Minimizers sent in the jellyfish to see what he can spot out. Meanwhile, Viper's Pit on the B side of the map, Conky, has been executed. The teleporter and garden position locked down for Bonkers. Almost funnels XYZ to try and bully their way in towards this A site. And a little bit of a love tap onto Punda might set the field for play of XYZ.
I've got your trail.
There's the counter cabbages being sent out as well. Nightfall goes in. And it's just going to be Punda trying to fire off a couple of shots as best as he can. Easy K straight into the lamps, and now he does try to clear out, but he's actually punished. That is very, very too far forward on this side. Mike's got 3, and now Logic has to pop the Empress, has to try and pull off the ranked extraordinaire, but it's not going to happen. Mike
big round
4, and that was basically XYZ losing their own round. They try to get way too aggressive, too much control, and Bonkers are just waiting there to catch them like a ball that's just been tossed across the room.
Yeah, big round to come through from Mike in the end. So I was feeling that maybe XYZ were able to find a bit of timing to push up through towards short when they got some damage on towards Punda, but unfortunately not. So it's one of these scary rounds that with Bonkers finding yet again, you know, does that shape up to just close the game here essentially. This is a purchase coming through for XYZ where they got 3 big guns, they got 2 lesser equipped guns, but we did just see Logic go ham 2 rounds prior. So we'll see if he's going to be able to establish himself in this round again and find another for XYZ. Showers control though for the defenders, getting Punda on towards that ulti orb if possible, because they lose Mike and he had access to the resurrection. So with that down, albeit a trade, a possibility for XYZ to close this round just yet.
Good dink. Forces Logic back in this 4-on-4. Still, XYZ yet to kind of make a decision on where they want to go. It does seem like they are setting their sights over towards that position.
Oh, wow.
Swell. Oh, my
Down A.
All right, zip it up.
Rainbots, boys. That's
zip it up. This one's done.
Right there. Yeah, correct. Swell very, very sharp, using the ADS as well. So full position gathered. Punda's locked that one in. Swell's got a keen eye over towards the showers, and he's more than clean at this point in time. He knows certainly looking to just clear everything, and I just sort of have a bit of a feeling that he's going to hit. Nope, never mind.
Oh, okay.
He was around the top, and Logic even going to let him know as well. But listen, Logic, you've got 4 more to find, or 3 more rather, before you can close this one out. Leah out towards the site. Spike still dropped in short, and there's just literally nothing he can do at this point in time.
Unfortunately, Bonkers have got this one on lock. You are a prison in the cell that the warden is minimizing. No, hang on. The disrespect. The disrespect, Logic. All right, we need... Oh, never mind.
Oh, last game of the year, Komodo. Last cast of the year. At least it's fun, hey?
Hey, we still got another map minimum.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm fired up.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, I gotta say, Logic, 21 kills, your next teammate's on 13, and then your other next teammate's also on 13. You feel a little bit hard done by looking at that you've only got 6 rounds in the end. You're putting in the effort and the work to keep positive, to keep your team alive, getting a couple of rounds for your teams almost individually. But at the end of the day, again, it's that skill diff, right? Essentially, between Bonkers and a lot of other teams in the region.
Experience diff. They've played against everything. Forged by the fire have been Bonkers, and XYZ does manage to get that tailwind straight in towards the site. Control will be gathered, but look at all of these members inside Hookah. 4 of them. Swell has cleared out short as well, so they have absolutely everything here.
If you...
it is going to be a tough one to try and get their way back in.
If you were Alucard, you would have wanted a plant and an orbital strike to put in towards Hookah there. A lineup from Blob. Mike is the survivor, which means the resurrection is there. Bonkers, a 5-player still alive retake, turns a little bit lower with the shots coming through from XYZ. They're holding on for dear life in this map right now. Some shots out from Swell. He finds 2. There's an orbital out. Swell looking for the 4K on towards the defuse. He needs to start to come because it's a 1v1 on the site. Punda's not here. Doesn't matter. He has 1 bullet in the chamber, and he finds the final frag. Swell, take a bow. You said you'd go positive, and what did you do? Well, you went positive, didn't you?
He went a little bit more than positive, I think. Komodo Swirl had an absolute stinker of a game just then. The confidence to run inside the team's orbital strike, even just to get a little bit more salt in the wound at that point in time. But Swirl, you've had your game, you've had your series, exactly what we want to see. Back on the Rays, looking very, very sharp. So it's another really, really solid affair coming out here, of course, from the side of Bonkers. They had some fun with it. They took a few risks. They certainly played off a few things. And we also got to see a few members of XYZ step up as well. You know, Logic obviously being the clear one at that. But of course, guys, again, we are going to throw over to a very, very short break before we do have that third map. Are we going to see Bonkers crowned your Valorant Overtime Cup champions, or are we going to see XYZ take it to a fourth? Go get a quick drink of water, and we'll see you back soon.
That guy's NJ here, and I am here at the Sky Tower in Taimaki Makaurau to check out the new Sky Slide, which is just opened. Let's go check it out. This is their brand new virtual reality experience based up on their main observation deck. It's a crazy ride, offering 360-degree views of Auckland at up to 100 kilometers per hour. The motion platform imitates the 3D rendered open-air slides, twists and turns above the skies of Taimaki Makaurau. Counting down. Punch it. Let me at him. Hey! Free air. Whoa! Whoever's done the render for this has done like an incredible job. Whoa! It's also really comfortable, like the motion platform's super nice. It's actually really selling all of these like different twists and turns. Another free fall, whoa! Whoa! We're heading home, boys, we're heading home. Whew. So it's $40 for the experience, which includes viewing platform access, or it's just $15 on top of your tower ticket. And it's for ages 8 and up.
To power the heat signal.
I got this.
Phoenix, wait!
Hands up, come on. You should see your face.
Come on. Did you find a power source?
Here.
Let's go, let's go!
Damn! Not enough power!
It needs to be superheated.
Get that hit.
didn't expect that to work.
Really? So, maybe give us a heads up next time?
Side secure. We're coming home.
That the big man? Tell him I need answers this time.
What is your problem? We crushed it.
Phoenix got to look in the mirror.
How come they look like us? And what do they want our radiant at for?
I'll talk to Brimstone. It's time we filled you in.
Cypher to all stations. I have a signal. Our blackmailer is headed east.
Aeon, this is Sova. Confirm you have target visual.
Yep, got him.
Ground team, collapse and converge on Sector 4.
Hello and welcome back to what could very well be the grand finale of the Valorant Overtime Cup. If you guys are just joining us, we've just seen Bonkers take away XYZ 2-0 on the opening two maps. Of course, we started off on Ascent 13-4 before it did go down on Bind 13-9. There was plenty of spice. There was plenty of excitement. That now we have the freeze of Icebox coming in here, Komodo. Do you reckon it's going to 4 or are we closing it here?
Do you want a real answer, or do you want like a fun answer because it's the the last tourney of the year and that sort of stuff? We're getting all the way to Haven. Look, there'll be a very interesting world if that were to be a reality. But no, I think Icebox is probably still going to go the way of Bonkers. But I just still want it to be a good map because by no means have these last two maps been boring.
Yeah, exactly right. And I got it wrong as well. It was 13-6. I got a little bit too excited because there was some closer rounds on Bind, right? I definitely think, obviously, you saw Bonkers taking a little bit more relaxed, but they had the sweaty lineups. They had everything kind of, in order, and realistically, like, XYZ put themselves into some really, really good positions, right? We got to see them kind of take it to Bonkers in a few of those rounds. And that's exactly what we kind of need to see, right? It's a mixture of both things. Obviously, on one hand, you've got a very, very well-rounded roster in Bonkers. You've got lots and lots of experience. They've been playing Valorant competitively since the inception, and then on the other hand you've got XYZ, who is a bunch of fresher talent moving their way into the competitive scene, stepping up against a tier 1 team like Bonkers and showing that they can actually get a couple rounds, which I think is fantastic for the scene.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, it's proving grounds, it's experience territory right now for something like this, because right around the corner is going to be the pathway to the international stage. And I think we're looking at this match right now, and Bonkers are setting themselves up to really be a big contender for that, right? But for XYZ, maybe it's not to try and get to an international stage, right? That's not your first step. Your first step is probably to get either a really, really close scoreline against a team like Bonkers or a Bobo, or even beat them, take a map off them. And yes, as Mitch is pointing out to you guys at home, can win an EPOS headset as well. All you have to do, tweet at LPL_Valorant using the hashtag OTC. Make sure you do use that one. Tell us, who is your favorite Valorant agent and why? Is it Raze, where you can jump around like a fairy and just absolutely eliminate your opponents? Or is it a different agent where you're a little bit more grounded and structured?
Have to find out, because Icebox will bring out some different things, and Mike is actually toying with this Chamber, a very, very, very solid agent, obviously, on Icebox. If you guys are just joining us, though, of course, it is the 5.12 patch, meaning that we have not seen all Chamber nerfed into the ground as of yet, but there is a Harbor being floated as well, I do believe quite strong on Icebox, but I think they're just toying with us at this point in time, which is absolutely fair. Songri's gone for the Killjoy, so very, very sort of standard roster looking to come out from XYZ here in the current meta. Minimize has gone for the KO, so very strong as well. So it'll really just be on to Mike on what he wants to pick up here. Will it be that Chamber? Will it be the Cypher? Will it be the Killjoy? It'll be one of those. Unless he wants to go for the Sage, but I don't think it'll go that route.
Hang on a second.
I was gonna say,
he's hovering. He's hovering. He's hovering the sage. No, look, we'll wait and see. But for XYZ, it's going to be a flashless comp for them. So, you know, they got a couple of droning action. Okay. They've got some reconnaissance idea. And Mike is indeed going to be locking the sage at the end. So a small difference in agent lineups coming in towards what could be our final map of this grand final here. A best of 5 looking pretty clean for Bonkers at the moment, and if they close it down on the icy map of Icebox, well, that means that they will be crowned the Overtime Cup victors and take away the lion's share of the prize pool.
Ooh, absolutely. Prime opportunity to do it, close out the year nice and strong. We're only 12 days away from Christmas. I hope you have all done your Christmas shopping, because I certainly have. It was a nightmare going and buying a bunch of baubles on the weekend. We got it done. The Christmas tree looks good, and so do all of you guys watching along in the chat. Again, a reminder, sign up for Valorant, the Champions Tour into 2023, currently in the off-season, blasting it out with the Overtime Cup. There's been plenty of awesome Valorant over the last couple of months, and I cannot wait to see what is ahead of us in 2023. Where will Champs and Masters take us? It's all going to go around the world, but right now, we're just going to determine on who will be, you know, the victor in this map of Icebox, and will Bonkers take out the Overtime Cup?
Well, I'm hoping it takes a couple out of our teams overseas, Mitch, and I'm maybe even hoping that it takes us over there, but we'll wait and see. Bit of aggression from Swirl up toward the belt. XYZ, they do realize this, but will Blob be able to get away, or will the ponytail of Swirl be yanked and yoinked? A bit of a challenge taken on down. Songry to find the opener.
Not a bad start. Swirly definitely looking pretty keen there on that jet. Obviously, with the additional utility on that tailwind to get out, you can put yourselves into some awkward positions, but B long control has been established nice and early. That's going to be the only thing again about this Bonkers side. You know, only with the Sage, they don't have a whole bunch of, you know, kind of flank lockdown utility. That's where the side of XYZ is going to be looking potentially a little stronger. But now they do march their way over towards this A site. XYZ going to get the plan here as well. Mike, though, going to go over and above the top, but he's going to be spotting out a bit too many people. Minimize now. Looking to find something, but the round will be closed. That's 3 alive for XYZ, and Easy K lets them know.
Yep, pistol round, 3 alive. A similar sort of story that we've been telling on the previous little bits. Bonkers so far, you know, they won both pistols over on Ascent. XYZ won both pistols over on Bind. And I want to add as well, winning both pistols and still coming away with 6 rounds. I didn't even think of that as a thing. So they weren't really winning gun rounds. It was the pistol round in the second round, and that was really it. So maybe the gun rounds is the detriment of XYZ. We'll wait and see if that's going to be the same occurrence, though, in towards this map, Mitch, because of course with the pistol round going to XYZ, we'll hopefully, I guess, see them gather this round, and Bonkers maybe chill out in this round.
Still looking forward, trying to get that further control. Swirl spotted out Logic, but nothing will happen just yet. Minimize does get some good damage onto Blob, but it is denied, it is counted. And once again, you can see XYZ very much turtling. They don't want to have any sort of freeze up here. Not wanting to let Bonkers get those early advantages. We almost saw the full eco round winding the previous map, but it was denied very closely on that bind. Now, 4 versus 4, good opening from Swirl on the response. And they are starting to march their way up towards B here. I think the main thing is, Komodo, that Watt still has a handful of utility here, and he's actually going to start to send that down.
Cheeky. I like it. The full setup, a bank off the roof. Mate, post-plant meta, is it coming back now that we've got Chamber going out, Cypher and Killjoy and stuff?
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see what clutter happens in this round as Mike manages to take out Easy K with the default classic weapon. Spike hasn't been planted just yet. Timing on that wall, though, might be to the saving grace of the XYZ members, but nevertheless, the Spike is down on the other side of that Sage wall. I don't even know how it's just phased through the ice, and Swirl is just going to dash on them to close it out with 4. How did the Spike actually get through the wall?
I have no idea. But irrespective, that was a round where, like, I spoke about turtling at the very start of the round, and XYZ got too hesitant, I suppose. You know, that was a massive reveal from Punda on the recon bolt, and off the back of it, you know, that utility that kind of froze them up from Watt on the Viper, and that just allowed kind of some confidence for the wall to go down, and yeah, the control straight back in. So Bonkers able to completely deny XYZ as a result of their hesitancy, and they now put themselves in really, really good stead for the rest of the map.
Waiting for the dart that will not come. Bonkers. More structured over towards the A side of the map. And Mike, he might actually get a bit of a rude awakening in the kitchen. Although manages to jump strafe out of the headshot cross Sarah Songri. Meanwhile, in mid, Minimize finds Easy K. So with all the better weaponry in this round for Bonkers, they do start to just set themselves up nicely again to try and close this one down. You've even got Minimize just waltzing still through towards mid. He's going to look for the spike. Narrow focused onto the spike because Alucard's next to him. But yeah, Mitch, you know, it's one of these round... Okay. Okay. What is happening? Everyone's looking the wrong way.
They're looking for knives. Having a bit of fun with it. Why not enjoy the grand finale, potentially? But now, obviously with that spike being dropped back, there is a little bit of extra ground to make up. Main thing is here that Logic is low. Down to 22 here, only with that Sheriff. Obviously weapon recovered. So the line is held. What? Little shaky on that shot there from the Bulldog. And
the time.
They are going to start to march their way through. Yeah, exactly right. 25 seconds, but a Vandal recovered. Are they going to go towards this A site now? Yes, they are, but Mike's heard it. Mike's got it. And I think Mike should have the round. Yes, he should. 4 kills, nice and easy. And Bonkers hold on to a second.
Yeah, no matter which way they kind of went, Mike had the better positioning over at the A site, and if they went towards B, well, you got to contend with all of the toxicity that Viper has to offer on Watt. So it would have been difficult for XYZ regardless, but 3 kills you take away in that round, now coming into your first, I'll call it big but not massive gun round, because there's 4 players with light shields. That's probably not really what you want coming into a round that Bonkers, you know, are starting to establish themselves on this defensive side too. Mike's got the resurrection, so you got a 6th member possible. We'll see how this one does pan out, but for XYZ, it's not the start of a map that you really want, and that's not the start to a round that you want either.
Looking in. Does he get onto that line? No, not quite. Still going to continue. Tailwind falls. And happy in this position too. So the rest of the side of Bonkers really kind of got that keen eye focus towards A. As XYZ, again, you know, they just don't really seem to be overly confident in what they're doing here.
Logic could definitely make us eat our words in this round, Mitch. If he's able to sneak his way in, find an opening pick. There's a dart set up for a reconnaissance of Punda. A little bit of damage, nothing too dire. 40 seconds to go, and the attackers, XYZ, don't really have a foothold anywhere around the map. Going to be peeling over towards this A site. It's where the majority of the Bonkers forces are.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds.
You should run.
XYZ, they've now been heard, Mitch. The lockdown, though, does help.
Not ready yet.
They're going to utilize that one to get in. Holding it down for as long as possible, though. Poison Cloud is up. And that will allow them a little bit of forward thinking. Songri does get that entry in. Oh god, Blob has to take so much damage to even find that side position. Now Minimize looking to jump over and above the top. He drops the spike. That might be enough here, Komodo. I think it is. Yeah, absolutely. 4 seconds, no time at all.
Oh, the flank! The flank through mid!
Unless everyone dies, and Alucard, the big man on the flank, gets it done. I was about to say, Komodo, XYZ, they've been hesitant, they've been cautious, they've looked to be on the back foot, but right there, Alucard executes and bites the neck of Bonkers. Closes out the round strong, 2-2.
We have an overview position, and even I missed that because I was so enthralled by what was actually happening on the side. I see shock darts missing on towards the lockdown, which means it pops and it finds one of the Bonkers members. I see Punda being taken down through a wall, and through all that chaos, Alucard sneaks in through mid and finds the kills necessary to get a round on the board for XYZ. But talk about leaving it to the finest of margins at the end of that round. Tied scoreline. Minimize pushing up through the garage, and no one's expecting it. Oh, the timing. They turn around at that brilliant time. Alucard to find the opener in this round, 5 HP. A second one would be good. XYZ finally, Mitch, they're starting to find something that's working, and it's duels that they're winning individually.
Enemy down.
Great shot from Mike, though. Nice response. Actually gets the dink back onto Logic, too. And again, you know, there is no heal here, so it is going to a position where Swirl goes forward. Komodo, they call it the caster curse, mate.
Yep.
You might have just introduced yourself to it again. They do start to march their way over towards A. This time as a unit, 3 together, no flank through mid. And they're certainly keeping their eye on that one for sure. Res comes out from Mike, and info will be gathered. What fantastic position here, just waiting nice and patiently. They don't know, they're looking all the other way right now. 1, 2, no, not quite. It is going to be that ultimate down. The Viper's hit makes it awkward, but it looks like Swirl, he's going to get aggressive straight over. The pit's been wasted. And Watt with a clean 2. Same with Swirl. Very nicely done. And Bonkers, again, backs up against the wall. They push forward.
Yeah, I almost feel like that slow orb that was thrown by Mike kind of hurt Watt, because you couldn't push up through the single box and find the players when he missed the second player playing on top of 410. But regardless, they do manage to navigate the rest of the round quite well, get that defuse. I'm looking towards the economy of XYZ, of course. It's a little bit here and there. You can have some players go in with a bit more investment than others. You could see Logic potentially pop the Blade Storm, go down to Light Shields and drop over a gun towards one of his teammates. But by that point, you've still got others without Vandal/Phantom potential, so they're going to take a bit of an E in towards this round. An opening pick would be gorgeous for them, but it's not going to happen in the immediate first steps of this round.
Just chilling. Kind of has been that, you know, gentle A presence from these last few rounds from XYZ. Spike dropped, sending a little bit of information over towards B, but obviously with this lesser weaponry, it is going to be a tough one now. Swirl looks to find something. Logic might drop one, but no, it's actually going to be minimized, getting Alucard, so that's the pinch off on the flank, and now they start to stranglehold around this site. Komodo, Watt picking up Logic as well. It's all falling apart. This is basically where the train of Bonkers starts to hit the railroad.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you don't have one of those pivot spots where you can pull the lever and divert it onto a different track. Got to give credit to Punda in that round. That recon dart scanned 3 members of XYZ, so Bonkers knew exactly what was happening. Minimize peeks out again from Garage, finds Alucard. So another well-placed round to come through from Bonkers, not really needing to do anything too difficult. You know, let XYZ come to you, hit the shots eventually in the end. You get another round on the defensive side. You've got access towards your, well, couple of ultimates really. Null commands for Minimize, Viper's Pit as well. Over on Watt. A slow start to these rounds though. XYZ, you know, we saw a bit of haste from them over on Ascent. Kind of feel like it's a bit suppressive in towards this map right now, Mitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Sends them packing. And now they look to dive on in. Creeping up forward, Swirl still pretty keen, but looks like they're actually going to send Minimize away. Keeps him on a gentle lurk. Gets to get actually spotted by that. He does, not going to matter. Gets a cheeky one through the toxic screen there.
Oh, you can get the resurrection though, but do you even try? Because now you've got Minimize, I was going to say, who did push up. They're going to go for the res, the taps from Swirl. This is gorgeous. This is insane. 5 kills. There's still another member because of the res. A 6-player ace is what Swirl is looking for right now. It would be a frag. It would be a clip. It would be an ace for a long time coming. And he certainly is hunting right now. Alucard gets taken down through the box. 6 players from Swirl. Take a bow. That is insane.
Oh, I think it's been a little while since I've casted a 6-person ace, but Swirl, that was absolutely immaculate. Last time I had a clip there, well, Komodo, both of us, I do believe, actually, it was the old Ninim long
Ninim with the operator. No, Marshall.
With the Marshall, yeah, that's it. Oh, man. Beautiful, beautiful things. This is certainly living up. Swirl just... It shows a position where when he knows he's the better player, he takes his time. He hits.
So for everyone out there, Mitch, clip that, ship it to Twitter and Reddit, and put Ose back out there. Let's get Swirl overseas.
Please. He needs it.
You should run.
Man, ready to boogie. Anyway, we don't want to give him too much gas just yet because still requiring in the cooking is the fact to get over towards this site as well. He's actually going to have to do a whole lot here. Waiting for the lockdown to dissipate. Still has all those blades. There's one. So we're going to give him a little bit here, Komodo. Does he have a second? He does. Down to 49. Now putting the pressure on. Tailwind is popped. Blob looking. Hunting for it. Doesn't quite get the damage. One blade. But now only one bullet left. Needs to find the Sheriff. The shock dart goes out as well. But now he still has to find this line. There is the ultimate here. Null Command is going for the mini. He's found it. This round, there is absolutely no way it should be going the way it is, but he's lost all of it now. It should be a round secured by XYZ. He's made the footsteps. The swing is there from Blob, but it was only style points at that point just then. XYZ gets the round, and it's well earned for a third.
Classic that we get a 6k ace into a shenanigan foot round like that. Heck, Swirl was even fake Yoru cloning at the end there, walking forward. So on Jet, you know, that's where we're at. We get a knife, we get blades, we get, I don't even know what to call it. Good, fun, entertaining Valorant. Let's go with that. A new round, another purchase to come through from everyone in the server. And once more for XYZ, it's going to start over towards the A side of the map. We're going to see aggression, though, from Bonkers. It looks like it. The double rope crawl, they've been spotted. And they're going to have to start to fall back, it seems.
Straight into the grill. Swirl having a little look-see. When does he want to peek, though? Does go in for it. It's a great flash. But no aggression off the back of it. He actually does go in for another. Tailwind allows him to get out. Updraft into the belt. And Minimize is going over the top as well. Unfortunately, doesn't quite work out on the little rope there, but now, well, straight back up. It's so hard to follow what this guy's actually doing. Punda, he's on the zip line. There's two. Game's broke. Look at that. It's unfair, really. And another round secured there by Bonkers 6-3.
Sometimes it's just RNG that works towards one team, isn't it? And Bonkers are reaping the reward. Mate, we had 9 rounds, 17 frags, 6 kills. No one is touching Swirl.
I love how he bottom fragged first game.
Yeah, true. Starting at the bottom, now we're here. Literal definition.
Crazy stuff. But yeah, look, I love to see it because he's one of those guys who you kind of wanted to like egg him on into competitive play and keep on showing it. But he did the good boy thing. He finished off his uni and now he's just taking it nice and easy here, as it would seem. Way ahead of the curve. Definitely a player to keep your eyes on as an international prospect, as he does go looking for more. Picks up, no, it's actually Punda who kind of needs those frags at this point in time, so he gets off the bottom. Well, we'll get taken down by Blob, but he's down to 30 HP. There is Alucard still back waiting in the wings here. Minimize is going to get the kill onto Blob, and it should be the last. There we go. Punda picks it up. Yeah, look, there is really just no resistance coming out from XYZ. It's kind of like the stop, he's already dead. However, before I do say that, like, I mean, the round that they won a couple ago was all them, right? It was no sort of failure of Bonkers. XYZ earned it. They just need to stop this turtle. If they're going to get anything done, they have to get up aggressive. They cannot be scared of Swirl, because in the position he's in, 18-7, he's going to start making mistakes because he wants more frags.
Almost feels like he's just going to be given it as well, right? With the way that it's coming forward right now.
Exactly right.
See what XYZ can do on the starting of this new round. Down on the little lackluster weaponry once again. Swirl is in their spawn, loses the blade duel, so your big old player that you need to be wary of, you've taken him down. The raid boss, as it would be.
Take him down nice and early. He's going to make mistakes, and he did just then. Straight in spawn. You've already got your quote-unquote best performing player of the map down. However, the thing about Bonkers is there is a few other players that are kind of good. Mike's one of them. Does narrowly miss the fourth. Could have been the ace there. However, Songri has a response. But it is the advantage very much back to the court of Bonkers.
Yeah, we'll see what Blob can do with Songri. I don't think the turret has spotted out where Mini is, but they're pinging his relative location. So they have an idea of what to do, but Punda, I don't think they'd be expecting him. The sound cue, it's not going to be heard. The one tap, make it 3 bullets to get it done. And now it's just on to Songri again. You know, this is just one of those eco rounds to come through from XYZ, whichever way you want to say it.
He can find the site. Is there a Vandal down? That's the question. I swear there was one drop.
Yeah, there is.
There it is.
X on the map marks the spot.
Winnable.
But is he going for it?
He's clearing everything. He's overthinking the hell out of this right
now. He needs that Vandal.
Go for it.
He's going to spot it now. Oh, no, that's a rope. No, that's a rope again.
10 seconds left.
And now the reload's been heard.
Now imagine if he didn't spend this. Oh, no! He wanted it. But that's the thing. Perfect example of get out of your own head. You know, the pressure's been dealt. Bonkers are all over XYZ. And that could have been a winnable prospect, but took too much time clearing out everywhere. Sometimes you just got to go for it. But again, hindsight is 2020 as we're moving in towards 2023.
Yep, 2022 coming to a close. And just like that round, Songri, I mean, at least gifted a plant in the end. Mini wanted the knife kill if Songri didn't turn around, which means that we get a pretty chaotic possible round for the last one of our half. A lockdown, Viper's Pit, and Hunter's Fury for the side of XYZ. Flip it over, you've got a Resurrection, a Hunter's Fury, and a Null Command. So we'll see if any of these ultimates are going to be taken down before they have a chance to shine. Maybe it is over towards that A side, because if you go into here, you can get a free plant, maybe take away a gold medal, polish it up in the end of this round, because no one's home.
Yeah. They are straight on in, and they have to kind of make something work off the back of this lockdown. Songri already in his way to position. Alucard's going to drop the Viper's Bit, but Swirl, he gets another. And, you know, at this point in time, he's been lining them up very, very nicely. They've kind of been giving themselves to him on a silver platter a little bit here. What does drop Songri, however, and there's Punda.
There's the pit.
Alucard. So, yeah, the pit's gone down. Easy K does drop Swell, and now he puts himself into a spot where he can find a couple more, but he's got to hit some very nice shots, which he's doing. Rez is there. It is going to be that
Knockman though.
Pulse again once more. He doesn't need it though, Komodo. One more person, one more frag. Does have the heal, does have the res, has everything he needs, and it's the one tap. There we go. They might not be winning this game just yet, but Easy K gets his redemption clip.
Holy, that made my jaw drop in the end. He had passed that to perfection. 5 kills, makes an ace and a clutch to boot as well. With a plant going down, your teammates start to lose their lives, and that is not even really a case of Bonkers giving that over to him, because he had to fight tooth and nail for that. He had to find the frags. Mike on top of a Sage wall, yes, maybe a little bit gimmicky that he's done it over on the belt, but the jewels and frags, Easy K still finds them in the end. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Another round over towards XYZ, and as we do have the half come to a close, we flip sides. Let's see if they can fashion something out of a defensive side. Continue to roll on that momentum.
Beautiful stuff. You got to give him his highlight frag, you know. Got to give it all the hype it deserves. It was beautiful. And Swirl, there you go. Another mistake punished. Blob Blob does get the redemption frag as well. So Punda moving forward with the rest of the team. A-site completely untaken. Songri, though, looking for that wrap back into mid. The lateness from Minimize. Is he going to be able to find the timing? That's going to be all the questions here. Komodo watching down towards the screens. There is noise everywhere, but that's the timing found by Songri. Great stuff so far. Now 3 versus 5. It's an easy sort of position here from XYZ. What's going to get taken down as well? Punda, Mike, left onto the duo. Make it all onto Mike, and that's a clean round from XYZ here, Komodo. They're back onto the defensive side. They've found 5, and Bonkers might be biting off a little bit more than they can chew at this point in time.
Yeah, well, Bonkers, as I mentioned, you know, both pistols over on Ascent. Then we go to Bind. It was XYZ with both. Now an Icebox. You know, that second one there just gathered by XYZ. They found the first one too. The only difference being that they weren't able to get the second one because Bonkers Eco got the better of them there with a little bit of laughter and style to come through from Swirl. Definitely can set themselves up to start well on this defensive side and, you know, bring in the scoreline a little bit tighter than what we saw over on the first 2 maps of 13-4 and 13-6. They're one away from at least equalizing what they managed to get on Bind, Mitch. With no purchase to come through from Bonkers in this round, you would, on paper, theorize that it should go towards XYZ.
Straight on in. Once again, they've given that free reign to the site, which is a scary prospect. You know, we've seen obviously Bonkers win a couple of disadvantaged rounds, and we don't want to see that continue because look at this inside CT. Oh no, Minimize already getting that opener. Luckily though, Easy K is there to clear on up. Now Blob sends the recon, or the Owl drone rather, in. They have spotted out Mike. They're able to force him back, and the Poison Cloud is there. So it is still going to be a challenging recovery. However, Komodo Mike picks up another 3 versus 3 here. Mike with the stutter step, hits another, looking for more, but it is going to be on that zipline. Blob Blob gets another. What punishes though? And now it's all on the logic. 1 versus 2, and oh man, it is hard to play that.
Mollies and shock darts.
Poor boy. Punda will close, and that's Bonkers winning a complete and utter eco.
Okay, so for the record, folks, that is like the 5th time I've caster cursed XYZ in this series. I want to formally apologize, but you also just lost to full eco, so
yeah, that's happened twice now, but that's the thing, right? It's kind of like Bonkers are so in control of this series. There's been a few moments where it's kind of like, hey guys, be careful, because how many times have we seen it during the course of the last 2 years, right? A team that is quote unquote better getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves and throwing away. I don't see it happening right now. They're keeping they're cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention as well that was different in that round. This is a bit of fluff, so I'm just going to keep rolling with it. In the pistol round, there was no util to play post plant like Bonkers just did. They bought the util even though it was like a full eco, which is why they played, you know, so well. Shock darts going in from Punda. You have the snake's bite and the timing from What in the end as well. So you make work with what you can on your util kit, and it can push very far.
Now, very nicely done. Again, just having fun with it. You know, showing their prowess. Mike has been playing absolutely fantastically. It's been a interesting kind of couple of games to watch because, you know, we go back to Ascent where I feel like Bonkers kind of really did take it very, very seriously. 13-4, every single member was doing their job. You know, there was no kind of crazy overextensions, maybe a couple, but overall it was just really nicely played Valorant. But now Songri, he's stepping up to the plate here. Couple of openings here. Logic also trying to pick up the pace. They are inside the kitchen, but that is going to be the turret getting the info. Songri can actually peek up here and look to get another. Willy Boat a little bit too far forward, though. No, not just yet. There's the swing in from Blob Blob, keeping him entertained. Songri getting a third. Looking very, very good in this round as Logic drops another. You know, they go from winning an eco to losing out a bonus round or whatever you want to call it. Alucard, there we go. 4 straight back in. XYZ again with the control. The pressure is starting to amount. However, XYZ is still at least showing us that they've got something in the back pocket.
Yeah, a round goes their way. They do lose 2 frags in the end to Punda, but getting around on the board, that is what you are chasing. 6 here. Now, a lockdown available. And nothing really to answer back for, you know, Bonkers. If it's a full retake, the side of XYZ have been very careful of these flanks through mid-late. We saw Mini get taken down previously because of that, but Bonkers, you know, they can potentially find another round with an A site being free of charge, right? XYZ loving to just leave this side open. We see it in the pistol the second round and now in a gun round because they've got access to that lockdown, which is why one would expect a full-on retake. But currently, that lockdown is over in the kitchen. Mitch, this is another 5 versus 5 retake. Good luck with this one.
It is, and also it's a thing of you got to stop letting Bonkers have that site for free, you know, putting all the pressure on. Sure, it's a 5v5, but it is a scary one to be playing. The lockdown is utilized, so they might have to get a little bit forward to try and fight for its swirl. Already making things work for that. Songri does get one, but there's the res as well. Coming back out on the swirl onto this flank. Punda, oh, okay, coming a quick scope here. FaZe Clan looking sharp, but it's just going to be swirl. Straight through the toxic screen, recovers the op, and that's going to be the round done. I think Punda actually picked that op out of Swirl's cold dead hands before he got resurrected. So nice little fancy quick scoping work from Punda, and Bonkers are now only 2 rounds away from winning out the Valorant Overtime Cup in a 3-0. And again, it's a 3-0, but it's not a crap 3-0. That's the main thing. It's been fun. There's been lots of opportunity. EZK had his highlight reel moment as well. So lots of good things have come out of this series, Komodo, and I'm happy that it's been going this way.
No, absolutely. You know, we've got some individual prowess being shown from a lot of members in this server as well. No one's kind of lacking completely, right? No one's just being a complete bot, which is what you want to see. Okay, I'll talk about complete bot.
You've done it again!
All right. My lips.
Stop talking. Can I just cast the rest of this series?
Go for it.
No, come back.
Swell's all the way in Snowman. We'll see if he has ice in his veins or not, because you wouldn't probably expect him to be this far pushed up. Logic's looking the wrong way. No, he's starting to clear it, but he gets his head taken on off, and now it's down to Blob. The shock dart revealed his position. Swell up to his usual antics, missing out the shots. One more plant, and now he's done. So 3 versus 3. Plant is down, turned upside down, and the players on the defensive side very disconnected. You need a big shot to come through first. Blob trying to play Distractor Mitch. And Easy K even read out. Punda apparently an operator player now on a Sova. And there is finally a 12-4 Bonkers. Grand final point.
That's the one. The grand finale. We'll quickly take this moment to thank everyone who has watched and been a part of it. And to all the teams that did enter, you know, obviously tight, running in towards the end of the year, other events going on. It was, you know, a bit of time pressure, but obviously massive shout out to Let's Play Live for giving the players something to play for in this last little hurrah. Very, very proud of all the players during the course of the year, and 2023 will only get better. So as we move into this last round, I remind you all to sign up, get amongst it, because this won't be the last time we'll be talking to you all. Songri, Mike, straight on in. Songri's got a couple, and it looks like he's not going to get any more, though, because what will respond? Punda to drop Easy, K, and Blob. It is just you separating the side of Bonkers onto what will potentially be the final.
I've seen him.
Has seen him. No, he's just gonna do it. He's just gonna close it. And there it is. Bonkers are gonna be your Valorant Overtime Cup champions.
They did it in a very untoward fashion, but a very exciting fashion is the way that I'll describe it in the end. 13-4, 13-6, 13-6, some knives, some aces, a 6k ace to come from Swirl. That kind of had everything in the series. Like, it was fun.
Yeah, no, it absolutely did. Look, you know, you move into these ones where sometimes it go, okay, you know, Bonkers is a very, very strong team. You know, what's the opposition going to look like? You know, you're typically used to seeing your kind of your Bobos and all those other rosters, your Fun Crew, kind of really putting them to the task. But this time around, it was a completely new entity, XYZ coming in, plenty of fresh faces for me. We're seeing all of these replays, all of these highlights. It was an awesome sort of time to see. So I think Bonkers, you know, whilst there was a little bit of disrespect at times, they also gave some good respect to their opponents. They played some good Valorant, and ultimately that's why they're here in the Valorant Overtime Cup, not losing a single map in this position. But yeah, that clip from AZK, my word, what a round, Komodo.
I'm actually just wondering, did they drop a map at all? Because in the open qualifier section with 16 teams, it was all BO1s, the group stage. I'll just quickly throw that up. Bonkers, they won 2-4-0, so they didn't drop a map throughout this whole Overtime Cup. There you go.
Yep, there you go. No surprises, no surprises.
What was the closest?
All, but...
Kick on. Yeah, I'm statistic.
Man, just trawling through VLR. We are getting into you guys, by the way. So, you know, again, I'll use this time, obviously, to just, you know, reiterate what we've got below. 2023 is going to be a huge year. Obviously, LPL has re-signed with Riot to bring you guys all the action over the course of the next 2 years. I do believe it is. Obviously, with the Ascendant League and you know, the Valorant Global Tour and everything like that. Obviously, we've got Ronsky that's going over to Global Esports, playing in that APAC region up the tippy top. There is the opportunity there. There's free agents, there's crazy people that we've got around the bend. We've obviously seen new rosters kind of set themselves up in like Bobo and obviously Bonkers, looking really, really good here. But the one thing there is next year, there is opportunity for you guys to get amongst it and play. So make sure you follow all the LPL socials, get around it and dive into it. But something I want to dive into.
I hear a knocking.
With the lovely Minimize. Mate, all I can say is congratulations on getting a couple of bonks in the grand final.
Cheers, bro. Always good to get a knife kill.
Well, I'm just going to run, like, there's not really too much to talk about. You guys have had a pretty turbulent year. You know, you've been very, very consistent from the start of the game, you know, in that IGL, trying to kind of take your teams and players forward and kind of shift that meta and play kind of how, you know, APAC's been playing. What are you guys looking forward to into 2023?
Honestly, like, we've been, like, together for about 3 weeks. And I think there's going to be a massive map pool change coming up in 2023. So I think that's really what we're looking forward to. Like, our Pearl is really good, and you know, we just cracked that as soon as it came out, developed that. So, you know, the more map changes, I feel like that benefits us a lot. We can play those new maps and develop you know, develop the meta and stuff like that.
So what was kind of your, because being the IGL, you got a lot to say with this team. What was your thoughts with the compositions that we saw throughout the maps today? And I know, you know, maybe XYZ, a little bit lesser equipped team currently, you know, for you guys in this spot, there's a lot for them to learn. How do you think those compositions feel for your team?
I think it feels pretty good already, but I think obviously Mike was coming off the chamber, so he's not really used to that Sage role and stuff like that. So I feel like once we get more comfortable in him and we start developing some more strats and stuff together as a team, I think it can be a lot more cleaner.
Yeah, awesome. Well, look, I won't hold you for too long. I just kind of wanted to wrap it up here. Obviously, say congratulations, you know, for the end of the year. And I guess, is there anything you kind of want to say to everyone who was watching along before we close it out?
Come support Bonkers on Twitter. Cheers.
Beautiful. All right. We've heard from the man himself, the big boy Minimize, and look, got to be short and sweet, right? You know, we knew he's obviously had a massive year. He's been one of the players that's been around for quite some time and has really kind of been, you know, steering and creating himself as an in-game leader, and we've seen exactly that. So big shout to the man himself. But Komodo, mate, before we do sort of roll through and wrap everything up, is there anything you want to run through yourself, mate?
Yeah, you know, big congratulations to Bonkers. They came out with a big old win here. XYZ, don't be discouraged, of course. You guys said yesterday from Blob in the interview that, you know, it's still figuring out what you guys need to do. Bonkers is a team that has, you know, individually been around for so long that there is going to be a bit of a difference. I mean, you saw it from Swirl, what he was doing in this series. But yeah, don't be discouraged. I'm liking what I'm seeing specifically in those games yesterday as well. Keep doing that sort of stuff. And I do believe as well, Mitch, through the hashtag OTC tweets, that we have a winner for an Esports headset.
Can we get that one below us, please, Fraser, so we know who's bringing that one up? Okay, there we go. At Jaganos. OTC, my favorite Valorant agent is Cypher because I can just sit on my camera and listen to Payphone by Maroon 5. That is a very big vouch on that win. LPL will hit you up on Twitter, so make sure you keep an eye out for that one. But look, guys, wrapping everything up, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to LPL for having a stellar year. I can't wait to see what 2023 has for us all. Don't worry about us. You guys know who we are. We want to give a massive thank you, obviously, to the players, and keep your eyes out on them. If you want more Valorant, if you want more Oceania to get around the world, follow your teams, watch them, tweet them, buy their merch, do the thing, support Oceanic Valorant, and we will see you guys all in 2023. Take care.